10 years ago, gates began appearing suddenly all over the world, opening travelways that poured every kind of insectoid, beastfolk, and aberrant being from other dimensions onto Earth. Faced with such a savage force, only ordinary people who happened to be awakened by radiation, those accidental evolutions, could stand a chance against the monsters. Their arrival gave humanity a sliver of hope for sealing the gates. In fact, it sparked a whole new era. People began to explore and harness the strange energies spilling in from those other realms. Our protagonist is Li Yi, a veteran miner. His daily work was suiting up in chemical protective gear and risking his life to enter those otherworldly dimensions to harvest energy rock. The reason Li Yi ended up a miner was crushingly practical. His parents had borrowed a huge sum of money. Both of them died inside the mining zone, and not only did he receive no compensation, he was forced to take on their debt. Wang Hai, the manager, knew everyone's situation down to the last detail. So it was not surprising that he struck up conversation and offered some praise. Not a bad month, huh? At this rate you should be able to clear your parents' debt in a year and a half. He nodded approvingly at the broad-shouldered teenager before him, adding, if you keep pushing for another 3 to 5 years, you might even afford a small apartment. Li Yi could only return a polite smile and a few nods. There was nothing he could really say. Yeah, I will keep working hard. Inside, though, he ground his teeth in frustration. The capitalists with their wolfish hearts, once he would pay the debt, they would be done with him. And then they suggested he slave away for 3 to 5 more years. If they wanted him to keep working, let them hire him themselves. His resentment was justified. Even though the radiation in those other dimensions only produced an evolutionary awakening in about 1 in 1,000 ordinary people, the work there was lethal. No one would choose to suit up and step through those gates unless life had already forced them to the edge. On the silent transport truck, someone's voice suddenly cut through the atmosphere and broke the mood. You are talking about him, the kid whose parents died in that accident 3 years ago, the one who got no compensation and had to shoulder their debt, one man repeated with a tone of sympathy. Yeah, the corporation insisted his parents caused a loss of $1 million. Poor kid. That comment earned a quick rebuttal from a C. Poor? How's he poor? He is just weak. If it were me, I would have dragged the corporation through court. Make them pay. He tossed the idea back and forth, as if daring to lecture the older man. You stupid, if they are dead, what good is revenge? Better to get whatever cash you can. The retort was blunt. Li Yi only stared at them, thinking weak in his head. Nothing in this world is whole and fair. Sometimes a person grows weak not because of personal failure but because this society and this crazy world pushed them there. When the miners gathered at the mouth of a cavern, Wang Hai made the usual announcement, everything was ready, begin work. But before anyone could react, the ground under their feet, which had been calm a moment earlier, suddenly began to tremble violently, throwing the group into panic. A landslide, ha, capitalists sure know their stuff and have experience. For a second the older man recovered his composure. It is just a tremor, do not start shrieking. Of course, Du Ha found it odd. An earthquake, never heard of tremors happening in those other dimensions. Even Fei Ban hurried to add a thought. Indeed, I have worked in countless otherworld sites and never once heard of an earthquake there. Those words sparked a chilling thought in the man's mind. Could monsters be appearing? The possibility, once voiced, sent the entire crew into a state of extreme alarm. Then we should not be working here anymore. I heard this place had mutant humanoids show up, before they are even harder to deal with than insectoids or beast folk. Yeah, let us stop, it is too dangerous. The murmurs spread and the miners began to back away, fear etched on every face. Before the crowd could completely lose their minds, Wang Hai roared at the top of his lungs, everyone, shut up. His voice cracked through the panic like a whip. This area was cleared of aberrants by the evolved 3 years ago. There is no way they are still around. Anyone who dares spread nonsense again, I will. But before he could finish his threat, a sharp, blade-like finger pierced clean through his body. The scene froze everyone in place. A C and Fei Ban stood stiff as statues, utterly stunned. Li Yi's eyes went wide as he found himself staring at the enormous shadow looming over them. Wang Hai, still clinging to life for a few fleeting seconds, lifted his gaze, pupils trembling with raw terror, toward the thing that had just struck him. And before he could say another word, the remaining miners picked up where his dying voice left off, screaming in unison, aberrant. Monsters that should never have appeared here were now raining down from above, attacking any unfortunate human who fell within their line of sight. Panic exploded. "Ah, run, run," someone shouted. Li Yi's instincts screamed for him to do the same, to get as far from this nightmare as possible. But deep down, he knew escape was impossible. They were over 10 kilometers from the exit gate of this dimension. Even as his body moved forward, his eyes flicked back a desperate instinct. Would running even help, but hesitation did not stop his feet from moving. This is not something humans can deal with, he thought bitterly. Before he could come up with any kind of plan, one of his co-workers was hurled backward by an aberrant and slammed straight into Li Yi's back. The impact was brutal. Even after hitting Li Yi, the man's momentum did not slow. Both of them crashed violently into a massive slab of stone. The force was so great that when Li Yi hit the ground, he could see a deep, horrifying dent carved into the rock from the impact. Gasping for air, disoriented from the blow, Li Yi tried to steady himself. Meanwhile, the others had scrambled back onto the transport truck they had arrived in. "Start the engine, do not leave me behind," he shouted. But the truck roared to life with a deafening blast of exhaust. No one even looked back. "Wait, please wait for me," Li Yi screamed helplessly as the vehicle sped away, carrying the survivors who still believed they could make it out alive. Unfortunately, the aberrants had no intention of letting them go. They swarmed the vehicle, their long, razor-like fingers tearing through the metal roof within seconds. Instead of killing the miners outright, the creatures began plucking them out one by one like cruel children playing with dolls. No matter how the trapped men struggled or screamed, there was nothing they could do. "Help us," echoed through the cavern, mingling with the grotesque laughter of the inhuman. The other aberrants, strangely, seemed not to notice Li Yi crouched nearby. Dazed, he could only watch as they tore into the others. Moments later, the immense pressure and chaos reached a breaking point. The truck suddenly erupted in a violent explosion. The shockwave tore through the cavern, and even monsters could not have survived such a blast. Li Yi, by sheer luck, was far enough away to escape death. Still, the sight before him was horrifying. The aberrants, their bodies once seemingly impervious, were now engulfed in flames, thrashing and shrieking like burning torches. Watching them writhe, Li Yi's mind clicked into focus. Their weakness is fire. Hope flickered in his eyes as his brain settled on a single, desperate course of action. But before he could move, one surviving aberrant turned toward him, brandishing its natural weapon, an organic blade that shimmered in the dim light. Li Yi's heart lurched. Not good, there is another one to the right. At the very last second, his body's reflexes kicked in, saving him from certain death. He lunged forward and, by some miracle, grabbed hold of a burning piece of debris, the only source of light and life he could cling to. "All right. Let us see you handle this," he muttered, whipping the torch wildly in front of him, then thrusting it toward the aberrant. Even as flames began licking up his own legs, Li Yi did not back down. "Get the hell away from me," he bellowed. The creatures froze, unable to advance, unable to retreat, and that alone proved his theory right. "So it is true," he breathed, eyes burning with grim determination. Ignoring the fear and pain, he shouted at the top of his lungs to the other surviving miners, "Listen to me, they are afraid of fire." Unfortunately, Li Yi's group were not evolved humans. Merely existing in this dimension was already a full-scale battle for their lives. They barely had the strength to run, let alone fight. All they could do was desperately search for anything flammable. Li Yi shouted himself hoarse, trying to get everyone to grab torches, to do something, anything, as the aberrants closed in. The miners were in a frenzy, fumbling to hold off the growing tide of creatures. Wang Jin, trembling, could only voice his endless worry. These torches won't burn much longer. Meanwhile, Li Yi's mind worked furiously, trying to carve out an escape route. The storage room. There is fuel in storage. If we seal the entrance with fire, maybe we can hold them off until rescue arrives. He began barking orders to keep everyone coordinated. Back to back, form a circle, move slowly. They tightened ranks, retreating steadily so no one was left exposed, giving the monsters no easy opening. Good. Just like that. When at last they reached their target, Li Yi shouted, "Pour the gasoline over the entrance now." The person nearest to the barrel did not even think. He kicked it over instantly. Li Yi's team had already withdrawn to a careful distance, not too far, not too close, holding their breath as the aberrants surged straight into the trap. The moment presented itself and Li Yi seized it, raising his arm high while giving the order, throw. In an instant the flaming torches arced through the air and landed right where they needed to. The fire touched the gasoline and roared up, engulfing the snarling aberrant in an inferno from which there was no escape. It screamed, a high, inhuman wail. For the first time the miners exhaled in relief. Wang Jin stepped up, clapping Li Yi's shoulder with deep gratitude. Li Yi, thank heaven for you, he said, voice thick with emotion. If not, we would be dead out there. Others chimed in. Yeah, from now on, just say the word. We will have your back. But Li Yi did not respond to their optimism. His gaze drifted unconsciously and caught on something that made him pause. A statue, their primary job was energy extraction, but stumbling across something like this, something that should not have been there, deepened his suspicion. Wang Jin, long familiar with the sight, recognized it with a single glance. That thing's been here since forever, he muttered. Probably manager Wang tried to smuggle it out to sell on the black market. The statue was old, weathered, but something about it held Li Yi's attention. At that moment the walkie-talkie in Assis's hand crackled to life, Mine 7 receiving. Please respond. Fei Ban snapped upright. News, ask when they are coming to get us. He quickly keyed the mic and answered by the book, Mine 7 receiving. We are under attack by aberrants, request immediate rescue. For a second they dared hope, but then the voice on the other end delivered a message that was both good and bad. We have received your situation. The rescue team will arrive in approximately 2 hours. Until then, please ensure your own safety. 2 hours, Fei Ban repeated, stunned. Assis's face tightened with visible tension. Can't you be faster? Hello? Only a long series of beeps answered him as the signal abruptly cut off. For a long moment the miners stood in silence, then panic rippled through them again. What do we do now? Our protective suits only have an hour and a half of power left. I do not want to die here. My wife and kids are waiting for me, damn it. Maybe we should just drive the truck and break out. Better than sitting here waiting to die. Unlike the others, Li Yi was quieter, sinking into grim thought. It was not only them, the meter on his protective suit showed consumption down to 61%. The suit's power was draining. Rescue needed to arrive soon. While everyone else scrambled, someone stepped forward and said, hold on a moment, let me speak. It was Fei Ban, who'd instantly flipped with the situation. Our suits won't last until rescue, he announced bluntly. Under these circumstances, someone will have to be sacrificed. He spoke with a clinical calm that ignored the fact they had just shared a life or death struggle together, the old men, the orphans, as if none of it mattered. Then he pointed straight at Li Yi. Give me his suit battery. The implication hit Li Yi like a slap. Without him, they would be eaten by the aberrants. After all, he had no ties, only debt and misery. Why should they save him? Fei Ban's true face showed worse than an animal. Li Yi felt fury spike in his chest and ground his teeth. You. Before he could finish, Fei Ban roughly swung a heavy wooden board at him. You want to resist? Do you even have the strength? Others jeered, egging him on. Try resisting, tough guy. Fei Ban's aggression looked no different from the monsters outside. He dished out humiliation like charity. A little help from us, maybe the radiation will trigger his awakening, Assi chimed in, delighted at the prospect. If he awakens with powers, he might save us all. With all the pressure on him and his own small reserves of strength, Li Yi could not fight back. He could only lie there, stunned and threatened. If I awaken, the first person I kill will be you, he snarled inwardly. But out here that sounded like a joke to these brutal men. Awakening was a 1 in 1,000 chance. You think you are lucky, they scoffed. Fei Ban grinned as he pocketed another battery. After the leader was bullied into submission, Fei Ban's faction felt emboldened, picking victims as casually as shopping. Who is next to awaken? They mused aloud. At that moment a sudden commotion erupted, stress spiking, and Dao Jun shoved the people beside him forward as a shield. Take theirs. Do not take mine, he cried. But his move only drew the predator's attention and unleashed a brutal pursuit. The moment he dared to climb toward the last remaining vehicle, the others shouted, Stop him! Dao Jun refused to be trampled like a toy. Screw you all, if you want to die, die with me. He would lost all composure. Dao Jun had one aim, escape and make those cowards pay. In his panic he knocked the old statue over, and the toppled stone sent miners swarming forward like moths to a flame. Stop him, if he knocks over the fuel at the entrance, we are all done. Time bled away by the second. The trap Li Yi had painstakingly set to block the beasts was destroyed in a chaotic instant amid screams. He pushed the fire pile out, someone shouted. "Aberrants, they are coming through." In a matter of heartbeats, everyone had turned away from him. Li Yi's gaze fell, half wounded, on the broken statue that had toppled near him. "Are you laughing?" he muttered, thinking at first it was a radiation-induced illusion, but then Qin Tian, who had frozen, really did bare his teeth in anger at Li Yi. Even the shattered stone dared to mock him. Before Li Yi could even vent all his rage, the aberrant that the others had recklessly invited in came charging forward and obliterated the Qin Tian statue in an instant. It did not stop there after all. Stone was not meat, and its next target was naturally a living human, Li Yi himself. The question that tore through his mind was simple yet desperate: why? There was no sudden twist of fate that could save him now. Why was he the one forced to bear all of this? In that moment, Li Yi's mind and body sank into absolute despair. Is it just because I am weak? He was suddenly pulled into a memory standing at the edge of a dark abyss formed by 1,000 voices driving him away. Get lost. Do not think your relatives can keep you around for free, if they can't pay the rent. Get out. Just because your parents are dead does not mean you do not have to pay their debts. I do not take in freeloaders. He remembered too well how powerless he had been in front of Chu Ha, the executive from the Ing Corporation. Are you crazy? You want to investigate your parents' deaths and sue the company? Chu Ha had no trace of sympathy, only irritation and disdain. The man had even tossed a pile of papers in his face. These are all the complaint letters you sent everywhere. They all ended up in my hands. You want the truth without paying the price? Fine. Here's your truth. Without hesitation, Chu Ha had written a fabricated report blaming Li Yi's parents, claiming their misconduct caused the accident. We won't compensate you. In fact, you will pay for the losses your parents caused to our corporation. Li Yi, small and alone, could do nothing but clench his fists in impotent fury. Then came Huang Ji's boot, driving into his ribs. You idiot. If you would just signed the settlement back then and taken a few tens of thousands, you would be fine. Why keep chasing some stupid truth? Li Yi could not even retaliate. All he could do was endure the pain as Huang Ji sneered. I will be handling your debt collection from now on. 30,000 in interest each month. Pay the principal in 3 years. On the 15th of every month, my men will come for you. No money, do not blame them for getting rough. Rain poured down as if mourning for him, and in that cold drizzle, Huang Ji made the offer that would change Li Yi's life. You are pitiful. So I will give you a way out. Go work as a subdimensional miner. That is the only job you can take to pay off your debt. The memory ended, leaving only a burning conviction and obsession strong enough to defy fate itself. I am going to die anyway. Then I will make damn sure you do not get to live easy either. Li Yi chose to fight back, no matter how battered his body was. So what if I am weak? Who decided the weak have to lie down and die quietly? By sheer chance, his teeth sank deep enough into the aberrant's flesh to make it recoil. The explosion of will lasted just a moment before exhaustion came crashing down, leaving him unable to move. Disgusting. This thing tastes like filth. Then everything went dark, his consciousness slipping into the void that belonged to Qin Tian. I thought you would unleash some hidden potential, the entity sneered, but it seems you are just flailing around before death. Even as his mind began to unravel, Li Yi still found the strength to retort, at least I bid it. What about you, just a broken statue, trampled into dust? Qin Tian did not seem offended in the slightest. Only I can save you now, it said calmly. All you need to do is surrender your body to me. Of course, Li Yi, still burning with rage and defiance, refused without hesitation. I do not need saving. Even if I die, I will never let anyone control me, especially something as hideous as you. Qin Tian burst into manic laughter. Ha, still defiant, even in death. It turned out that the one speaking all this time was Li Yi's spirit. His physical body was already collapsing, about to be consumed, while Qin Tian's wild voice echoed through the darkness. Fool! You think you have the right to refuse. At that moment, a cold chime resounded. System notification, Shadow Protocol activated. A surge of energy clearly emanating from him wrapped around the aberrant and twisted it into submission. Drawn by that irresistible pull, the creature was forced down to the ground as if confessing its crimes. In the next instant, Qin Tian, inhabiting Li Yi's body, erupted with an unimaginable force that shook the whole cavern. The one who stepped on my statue, you are nothing but a grub, right? The skill he unleashed seemed to casually dispose of a small aberrant exactly as he would declared. I have long tentacles, he boasted. At that moment the aura around Li Yi's body had changed completely, and another aberrant reckless and oblivious to death crawled closer. Its noisy approach irritated a powerhouse like Qin Tian to no end. The racket was unbearable. So he acted with cold efficiency, molding shadow energy into lethal shapes. Get lost. The command finished and a mouthless void opened, swallowing that hateful aberrant whole and casting it into oblivion. Yet the creature's upper body parts were flung aside intact, as if Qin Tian had no interest in eating the living. The taste, he sneered, was vile. This fiery, swaggering display did not stop at punishing a single aberrant. It sent a clear message to the rest of the trashy crew. The miners who had turned on them two-facedly shrank back in fear. Li Yi, what do you think you are doing? If you touch me, I will report you. Fei Ban spat threats, but it did not faze Qin Tian. Instead, he deliberately loosened his grip on the body and posed a question to Li Yi. I am curious. If I give control back to you, what will you do? In a flash, the shadow energy poured out from Li Yi's form and wrapped the miners like bands of steel. Let go of me, let me go. You can't treat us like this, we did it to survive. Even a sea, guilty as he would been, tried to plead. Besides, without us you would never have known whether you would awaken. Fei Ban quickly changed his tune too. Yeah, we were harsh, but you did awaken, he added, trying to bargain. Oh, so you expect thanks. Fei Ban's bravado did not hide his lingering confidence. He still tried to set terms. No need to thank us. Just act like nothing happened and spare us. A sea nodded eagerly. But Li Yi's decision made them pay for their treachery. He did not just refuse to forgive them, he took away the thing that kept them alive. Calmly, he stripped the life-sustaining batteries from their suits and claimed them as his own, proving that any promise of helping them awaken was worthless. As soon as their suits were removed, Fei Ban and Asi were exposed to the subdimensional radiation. Coughing, Li Yi watched them collapse, their struggles draining away until they could no longer move. The surviving miners trembled and pleaded, do not kill me, I did not do anything, but Li Yi did not hesitate. He tossed aside the items he would harvested. Their batteries belong to me now, he thought, and the gesture infuriated Qin Tian. Qin Tian, displeased by Li Yi's show of useless pity, drew the shadow energy from Li Yi's body into manifestation. It was only a burden to Li Yi, he warned. Misplaced mercy would get him killed. Qin Tian's curt lessons, honed by experience, irritated Li Yi. Shut up. I do not need your preaching, Li Yi snapped. I only wanted to see whether you could remain resolute when life and death were at stake, Qin Tian replied slowly. When they finally emerged from the cavern mouth, mobs of aberrants poured in without pause, and Li Yi startled. With the power of his recent awakening, the fear that had lived in the pit of his eyes was replaced by an austere, iron-faced seriousness. There were more outside the cave than he had imagined. Qin Tian stepped forward at the right moment and offered a stark choice. Either you hand me control of your body, or you deal with this pile of filth yourself. The calm, brutal truth of the ultimatum stripped away any lingering illusion of safety. Your legs are trembling in front of this trash. Think carefully, without my power, you are nothing. Qin Tian's cold taunt cut through the air. Yet no matter what he said, Li Yi stubbornly stuck to his own will. Using his newly enhanced physique, he leapt lightly into the air. With just that single motion, he managed to evade the aberrant's sweeping attack. Do not you dare try to teach me, he shot back. After spinning mid-air several times before landing, Li Yi could not help but be amazed by the transformation he would undergone. His body felt light, almost effortless. Even when the monster swung its blade-like arm toward him, he managed to block the blow with surprising ease. But before he could catch his breath, another aberrant appeared right behind him, its gaping maw like a black hole ready to devour him whole. The moment its killing intent surged, Li Yi's instincts flared. With barely a thought, he twisted in midair, narrowly evading the fatal bite. It was only through this live battle that he realized how drastically his body had changed. His reflexes, his speed, even his perception had all been refined far beyond human limits. Just then, Qin Tian could not resist throwing in a sneer. So this is all the strength you have got, even after forming a link with the shadow system. You are still this weak, pathetic. Before the mocking could continue, Li Yi turned that fury into power. Shut up. A split second later, he drove his fist forward with every ounce of force he had. The punch landed with a thunderous impact, sending the aberrant flying and letting out an ear-splitting shriek before collapsing. Only now did Li Yi grasp something important. Why has my strength increased so rapidly? He wondered, astonished. But despite the power behind that devastating strike, the aberrant slowly pushed itself up again, unscathed enough to move. Li Yi frowned. So physical attacks alone are not enough to seriously hurt them. As that thought crossed his mind, a fleeting wish formed, if only I had a weapon right now. In response, the surrounding energy suddenly gathered in his hand, shaping itself according to his will. Li Yi stared, astonished. A weapon forged from condensed shadow stood before him, a dark, gleaming blade. Is this a shadow mirage blade? Facing the oncoming monster once more, Li Yi adjusted his stance perfectly, ready to test it. Let us see if this thing feels right in my hand. With a single, sharp swing so swift it was almost elegant, the aberrant was cleaved in two before it could even touch him. Li Yi's exhilarated laugh rang out, tinged with disbelief. He could kill them now. Countless questions stormed through his mind. Have I become an evolver? But as confusion scattered his thoughts, another monster lunged. Before he could react, its blow struck true, yet just seconds later, its head went flying as Li Yi retaliated instinctively, cutting it down without hesitation. In that moment, every cell in his body burned with determination and bloodlust. What filled him was not just the thrill of newfound strength, it was the long-buried hope of finally being able to fight back. Time slipped by in a blur of blood and motion. When silence finally fell, the battlefield was littered with proof of who had perished. Exhausted, Li Yi panted heavily, each breath ragged as if his lungs had only just remembered how to function. The bright sky gradually took on a golden hue, and around him, no more aberrants stirred. Then came the system notification, clear and triumphant. Li Yi of the human race has successfully evolved to rank E. The rescue team finally managed to get Li Yi into the hospital. The nurse could not hide her confusion. There were no external injuries, no illness indicators, all vitals normal. Why has not he woken up yet? She asked. A doctor standing nearby explained, this is how evolved individuals often present. Their physical energy gets drained badly. The body needs time to readjust. His words sent Yang Shi into a frenzy of excitement. So he evolved. What rank did he hit? Dao Sha only sighed, having already grown used to her excitement. We will see what rank after he wakes up. Once there was nothing left to check, the doctor turned and said, let us move on to the next room. But Yang Shi could not help herself. She lingered, stealing glances. He is so handsome, she gushed. After everyone else had left, Jing Tian appeared and launched into a long complaint. Why did it have to be a human rank D? With my identity and power I should at least be rank B. Sure, rank E can trigger the darkness system, but at this level it is almost useless. As Jing Tian kept wailing about his fate, Li Yi finally came out of his haze and a wave of questions hit him. You again? What exactly are you? Why won't you leave me alone? Immediately Jing Tian put on the grand, king-like tone. Listen carefully. I am the supreme ancient sovereign, the Jingtian clan, ruler of the myriad infernal prisons of other dimensions. I order you to surrender your body to me. When I retake my throne from the traitor, you will not be shortchanged. Li Yi did not answer. He just stared with a face that clearly said, I do not buy any of this talk as cheap. Claiming to be some supreme ancient sovereign of the Jingtian clan, never heard of it. He half muttered insults at the dark, ugly thing clinging to him, assuming it could not possibly hear his inner monologue. Of course Jing Tian could hear and it was not pleased. Anyway, Jing Tian stopped wasting breath and urged again, enough. Offer your body. That is your only value. The idea spun Li Yi off into a ridiculous train of thought. What if this thing secretly desired his looks? Do not push it. If it forced him? Well, that thought went even further off the rails. The more Li Yi imagined it, the more Jing Tian was stunned and speechless. Do not make me angry, the dark thing snapped. If it had to choose, it would rather possess some old dog than this trash. Finally Jing Tian lost patience and screamed, stop daydreaming. Get serious. Then it shoved him the portal Jing Tian had created sent Li Yi through. 3 days, Jing Tian warned. If you do not hit rank D within 3 days, I will destroy you entirely. Li Yi, meanwhile, was baffled. Wait, was not he still in the hospital? Jing Tian explained. This portal is the Jingtian clan's E-rank trial, the insect nest. Jing Tian added more details. Each member of Jingtian can participate in the trial only once after coming of age. That was possibly why Li Yi could enter. He would merged with Jing Tian, which reset his eligibility. Then the first insect-type opponent appeared surprisingly. Li Yi recognized it, a shield armor guard. Why did he know this? It turned out Jing Tian's convenience feature explained it. The darkness system I gave you will automatically read the data from my knowledge archive, Jing Tian said. Get used to it. Hearing the same familiar but foreign terms forced Li Yi to echo them, darkness system. He tightened his newly formed shadow blade. A flurry of jagged, uneven slashes erupted in an instant. The fight against the shield armor had immediately escalated beyond a typical monster skirmish. Li Yi was taken aback. The creature screamed, clearly angered by the small human before it. But he did not flinch. Instead, he calmly dodged and calculated. There was a weak spot on its back easily exploited. The moment Li Yi locked onto his target, the shadow blade in his hand struck straight into the carapace of the shield beetle. He followed up with a triple spin before landing with controlled precision, a move equal parts safe and stylish. Unfortunately, the blow did no real damage. Instead, it only enraged the creature, making it move even faster. Li Yi was sent flying a good distance, barely stabilizing himself by stabbing the shadow blade into the ground. TCH. His grip tightened, tension flashing in his mind. That shell's too damn hard. Qin Tian seized the moment to sneer. Useless. Is recklessness the only strategy you know? The insult stoked Li Yi's irritation, driving him to snap back with fiery resolve. I do not need your judgment to fight. Qin Tian scoffed coldly. Then do not come begging for my help when you fail. Determined, Li Yi switched to erratic attacks, slashing from every angle just to probe for weakness, but frustration quickly followed. Damn it, does this bug even have a weak spot? True to its name as a shield beetle guard, even its limbs were tougher than forged steel. Eventually, the creature seemed to have enough of standing still. In the next instant, it unleashed a violent burst of energy that sent Li Yi flying again. Even with his enhanced physique, the impact rattled his bones as he crashed into the hard stone floor. Qin Tian, visibly irritated, muttered, pathetic. This weak ranky brat. But then, Li Yi noticed something unexpected, blood. And it was not his. The sticky crimson trail clearly came from the shield beetle itself. A small wound had opened at one of its joint hinges. Realization struck. So that is where it leaks. A surge of confidence flared inside him. That is your blood, huh? His sharp eyes glimmered with triumph. Hey, found your weak spot. But the creature was not about to stand idle and let him exploit it. Furious and bleeding, it lunged forward in a frenzy. Li Yi, equally resolute, met its charge head-on. Let us see who is really the weak one here. The sudden shift in his stance startled even Qin Tian. What? That is Shadow Eyes. Li Yi poured all his strength and dark energy into a single strike aimed at the beetle's joint. Break for me. His blade slammed down, but the result was disappointing. The joint cracked, yet the leg only came off halfway. Qin Tian clicked his tongue mockingly. TCH TCH TCH. Half a day just to slice off one leg, brilliant. Li Yi ignored the jab. One missing foreleg means one less way to defend, he said calmly, outlining his reasoning. Now hitting its weak spot will be a lot easier. The logical tone made Qin Tian pause. Its weak spot, but Li Yi no longer responded. Instead, he tightened his grip on the shadow blade, mind racing. I need something stronger. The shadows around him rippled, reshaping into a new weapon, a long, sleek shadow spear. Perfect, he said. He channeled all his remaining strength into a single, earth-shaking lift, raising the massive beetle's body into the air. As gravity began to pull it back down, Li Yi's voice rang clear and steady. You stayed still because you did not realize your end was now. Then came the decisive thrust, swift, clean, and absolute. The spear pierced through the beetle's underbelly, splitting it open in one powerful motion. Your weak point is the abdomen. Li Yi declared as the shield beetle guard crumpled lifeless to the ground. After such an exhausting and brutal battle, Li Yi finally allowed himself to breathe, chest heaving, adrenaline still high. Ha! Ha! I did it! I won! Qin Tian, ever the cynic, muttered, panting like that after killing a single rank E shield beetle guard. Pathetic. Li Yi, now used to the demon's barbs, did not bother responding. Then something pulsed within him, a warm surge of energy flooding his veins. What is this? He murmured. Qin Tian sighed. Idiot. That is an energy stone. It has a small chance to boost your rank. A system notification immediately followed. Rank progression, D plus 0.2%. Li Yi blinked. Huh, like an experience pouch. Before Qin Tian could retort, a faint sound broke the silence. Something was moving nearby, though nothing could be seen. Qin Tian's voice came low and sharp. You do not know how to use shadow eyes to see through it. Li Yi hesitated. I just used it a moment ago. What even is that skill? For once, Qin Tian did not mock him. Gather dark energy into your eyes, he instructed. That is how you activate shadow eyes. Got it. Instantly, his vision cleared. He could see Thich Chom firing a barrage of spines from its body. Thanks to shadow eyes, he dodged with barely a hair's breadth to spare. Without it, he would have been splattered against the rock. More things darted around him, making him uneasy. What are those speed-blurred things? Their velocity brought them close to a human's most vulnerable spots, but shadow eyes let him spot them in time. He moved with instinctive agility and razor-sharp awareness. Still, despite some evasions, he could not see everything clearly and wondered if the skill was broken. Qin Tian answered bluntly, it is not the skill, you are just too weak to see fully. That remark lit Li Yi's fighting spirit. If his power was lacking, he would gather more of it. His moves and skills grew steadily more refined. Even Qin Tian admitted, without sneer, that a rank E amateur handling dark energy this deftly was unexpectedly interesting. With shadow eyes sharpened, Li Yi now plainly saw the rank E insects, Duok Thien Kue the head harvester, Thich Chom the spine shooter, and others. Qin Tian observed that Li Yi had apparently absorbed basic knowledge good. Li Yi braced for a one-on-two, but the situation flipped and chilled him. Wait, how many are there? Before he could count, the cavern's depths revealed themselves, a tide of insectoid hosts flooding the hollow. In Qin Tian's commentary, the old saying applied, see one grub and the dark is crawling with them. Li Yi swallowed hard. Without giving him a moment to react, the monsters roared like a tsunami intent on burying humanity. Li Yi did not stand frozen. He dodged and flowed, earning a rare compliment from Qin Tian. Not bad, you know how to circle for safety. Of course, Li Yi did not hesitate. He drew both shadow blades together and focused his power. All of you, cut it out. A concentrate not ed wave of dark energy detonated outward in a brutal shock that shredded any critter it touched into nothing. Darkness swirled and gathered around him as Qin Tian's voice rose in stunned excitement. Has he awakened shadow form level 2 so soon? Qin Tian's expectations were being upended. This rank E amateur was a surprising development. The system confirmed it, shadow form upgraded to level 2. When darkness becomes your pupil, every beat of an enemy's heart tolls its death knell. The first thing Li Yi did after officially ascending in rank was to charge straight toward Thich Chom. The movements of the insects around him suddenly seemed sluggish, slowed to half their previous speed at least. The system displayed a new prompt, weak point of the projectile-type enemy identified. Realization dawned on him, so the purple mark is their weakness. Qin Tian, ever the commentator, began his calm explanation. That, he said, was the benefit of advancing shadow eyes to level 2. His tone remained flat as he detailed the ability's functions. Once you can perceive an enemy's weak spot, your attacks can pierce their defense. Without hesitation, Li Yi shouted, their weak points are all underneath. He quickly grasped and utilized a new technique beyond simple weapon summoning shadow burial. It allowed him to embed his own shadow into the ground and launch it upward, inflicting wide area damage. Notifications streamed in one after another. Breakthrough to rank D increased from 1.3% to 2.7%. The harvest rate left Li Yi unsatisfied. Only 0.7% per kill, he muttered, glancing at the endless wave of Thich Chom crawling toward him. His earlier anxiety turned into restless urgency. I already know their weak points. Time to end this fast. With a single sweep of destruction, he cleared the swarm. New messages flashed. Breakthrough increased from 3.1% to 5.3%. Li Yi could not help but marvel. So the accuracy boost from Shadow Eyes level 2 really is that significant. Unfortunately, while Thich Chom were relatively easy to handle, Duok Thien proved far faster, forcing him to dodge narrowly again and again. What the hell is that? He hissed, exasperated. Qin Tian's voice cut in, mocking as ever. Quick reflexes, shame your brain can't keep up. Li Yi's pupils, glowing with the light of Shadow Eyes level 2, locked onto the target. Duok Thien Kue Chong. His mind raced. Within seconds, he reshaped his weapon in a way that even made Qin Tian exclaim. The shadowed twin blades elongated, transforming into a whip. With one sharp, fluid crack, graceful yet powerful, he lashed forward and ensnared the Duok Thien. Got you, he said coldly. The follow-up came fast. Shadow blade strike. Taking its head was as easy as slicing fruit. Try jumping now, he sneered. The system pinged again, weak point of Duok Thien Kue Chong recorded. But the remaining Thich Chom were not idle. Together, they launched another volley of venomous spines toward the lone human. Li Yi did not flinch. If anything, it ignited a deeper, bloodier resolve. You like shooting, huh? Let us see how you manage without your tails. Channeling his dark energy with frightening precision, he wielded the whip as if born to it. A single sweep bisected the enemy ranks, cleaving the insects neatly in half. No tails now. How you shoot anything, he muttered under his breath. The system followed up. Breakthrough progress 12.1%, rank D. He did not stop there. With fluid adaptability, Li Yi reformed his weapon once more. You think hiding in the swarm will save you? Thin, shadow-like threads extended outward, delicate but unbreakable, capturing more Duok Thien one after another. Down, he commanded, and the creatures fell in unison. Watching from afar, Qin Tian's expression eased slightly, his voice a touch more approving. At last. Starting to look worthy of me, though your form's still ugly. He took the chance to explain something important. The gift bestowed by Shadow Eyes, the Shadow Gift Ceremony, enhances your sensory reflexes, your physical power, and your control over darkness. That is why it is called a gift of Shadow Eyes. At that exact moment, the system reported, breakthrough 34.2%, rank D. But Qin Tian added the crucial warning, this gift comes with a cost. It consumes a tremendous amount of your mental energy. That is the price demanded by the Shadow Eyes themselves. Li Yi's body froze mid-motion as dizziness crashed over him. Qin Tian sighed, shaking his head. Rank E really is rank E. You have already hit your limit this quickly. Li Yi barely heard him. His vision blurred. Only fragments of determination flickered through the haze. I finally gained this power to take revenge. But that brief lapse was enough for a Thich Chom to strike from behind, a surprise attack that cut into his back. Even so, Li Yi's sheer willpower held. Clutching his shadow blade tight, he thought fiercely, I can't fall here. The system clock ticked coldly in his mind. 15 hours, 28 minutes, 42 seconds remaining. In that moment of peril, memories surged. Faces of those vile men who twisted truth and painted white as black. Those bastards from Incorporation had covered up the truth about his parents' deaths and then had the audacity to force him into debt slavery, mining to repay what he owed. Fury and hatred fused into a single burning drive that shattered the haze clouding Li Yi's mind. Just because I was an ordinary person, the thought scorched through him, and his growth surged. In just 2 hours and 40 minutes, his breakthrough progress skyrocketed from 58% to 70%. His twin blades flashed so fast they left afterimages in the air. His arms never slowed, not for a second. Now that I have power, I will never give up. I will have my revenge. 2 hours and 24 minutes later, his breakthrough rate climbed again from 81% to 94%. The final hour slipped away unnoticed. By then, the battlefield around him was carpeted with insect corpses, their blood glowing green in the dark. I will drag every arrogant bastard down into hell. They will kneel before my parents' graves and beg for forgiveness. That vow filled every nerve and muscle in Li Yi's body, letting him stay upright atop a mountain of carcasses. His breakthrough neared 95.4%, with only 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the timer. Even Qin Tian's gaze tightened at the sight of such transformation. Human hatred. It resonates with the shadow system that much, he murmured. It is even feeding the darkness. For once, there was no mockery in his tone, only raw encouragement. Time's running out, boy. Move. And as the pile of insect bodies grew, Li Yi's rank D breakthrough climbed with it past 97.8% in the final 15 seconds. Qin Tian could not help but mutter, "You are really going to unleash all that dark energy in one go? Are not you afraid you will explode and die?" Li Yi's voice trembled with defiance as he spat out every word. 3 seconds left. I just need more power, whatever it takes. That energy flared violently, roaring through him like a storm. I am ready to stake everything I have, he declared. The countdown ticked away, second by second, until the timer hit 0. At that instant, every second ticked by until the countdown of the trial reached its end. The moment the timer hit 0, Li Yi, engulfed in a surge of violent dark energy, launched himself high into the air and came crashing down onto the ground with tremendous force. The resulting shockwaves sent the swarm of insectoids flying apart, their bodies disintegrating into dust. At that very instant, the system notification appeared. Breakthrough progress 100%. Rank upgraded to Tier D. Because he had poured every ounce of strength into that final strike. Li Yi was left panting heavily, chest rising and falling with exhaustion. Qin Thien popped up right on cue, his tone teasing. Barely made it, huh? I guess I can call you Little D now. But Li Yi's sharp eyes suddenly darted toward something that caught his attention. In front of him lay several metallic objects distinctly different from the usual energy stones, weapons. Qin Thien began explaining slowly. This insect nest used to be a basic trial ground for the Dark Clan. That short sword there, if we use the human grading system, would be about grade A. With the power of a newly ascended Tier D, Li Yi could now easily lift the weapon and assess its quality. Short sword? Isn't this more like a great sword? Don't tell me your clan's people were all giants. Li Yi asked. Qin Thien's answer was dripping with arrogance, befitting his nature. Compared to my dark energy, these so-called weapons are laughably inferior. But Li Yi wasn't convinced. Not necessarily, he countered, and immediately began collecting the black steel short sword, the Mang Lean blade, and the Nha Lang dagger. His actions made Qin Thien raise an eyebrow. What, you plan to use those? Li Yi replied flatly. Sell them. His tone was pragmatic, almost comically so. At that moment, his entire being was filled with vitality and a renewed sense of purpose. However, only Tier D and higher evolvers could legally sell equipment. That meant his first stop would have to be the official registration hall. Unfortunately, things rarely went as smoothly as planned. The sound of a stamping seal echoed, followed by a statement that nearly made him roar. Tier E? How could it be Tier E? The female clerk on duty looked at him with a mix of boredom and disdain. Your physical stats are fine, but we couldn't detect any trace of energy fluctuation. So, by regulation, you're classified as Tier E. Sweat poured down his forehead like a waterfall, but she remained composed, reading from the file in a monotone. According to our records, you're registered as a minor. Advancing to Tier E qualifies you for a 15% pay raise. The outcome was utterly anticlimactic, an exhausting trip for practically nothing. Li Yi could only mock himself with a half-smile. The dark system, unrivaled under heaven, huh? Qin Thien immediately shot back, offended. That's because you humans are too ignorant to perceive the existence of dark energy. His words made Li Yi pause and thought. Maybe not being detected wasn't such a bad thing, it would make selling gear troublesome. But it could also keep him under the radar. Time passed quickly, and before long, Li Yi arrived at the night market, a place where all the unregistered, shady transactions took place. Qin Thien chuckled. Fitting, don't you think? Night, just right for the dark system. But Li Yi's presence soon drew murmurs from the crowd. What's that smell? The stench of war dust must be from the mines. It's rare to see a miner here. Someone sneered, as Li Yi examined the weapons displayed on the walls. Qin Thien couldn't help scoffing. Humans are ridiculous. Stick a few gemstones on a piece of iron and call it divine weaponry. Pathetic. Just then, Le Dao, the shopkeeper, stepped out and immediately recognized Li Yi's status. Get lost. What's a miner like you doing here? Don't dirty up my merchandise. You couldn't afford any of this anyway. Li Yi didn't lose his temper. Instead, his voice grew colder. Is that how you treat your customers? He didn't even bother to hide his contempt, spitting it right in the boy's face. Customer, someone as dirt poor as you. Do you even have money for any of this stuff? Ladao sneered. At that point Li Yi had had enough. He strode forward without another word and plunked the blade he'd been carrying on the counter. Get your appraiser over here and tell me how much this Fengming sword is actually worth. Right then another figure showed up, speaking in a syrupy, sing-song voice. Ah, Zhu Dane, so you finally ranked up to Tiandi. It was Su Cheng, playing the commoner act but clearly enjoying herself. She was followed by Zhu Dane himself, strutting in with the arrogance of a newly promoted evolved, exactly the kind who made the market stink. Ladao's whole attitude changed the second he saw an important customer. Chu Xiao, what do you have for sale today? He asked. All smiles. I found a decent sword in the other element ruins. Zhu Ding said bluntly, thinking of selling it and buying my girl a new car. Ladao's experienced eye flicked over the blade and his face brightened. Fengming sword. He said, this weapon naturally boosts damage. It's hot stuff at tier D. They were all trading excited little remarks when Li Yi's voice cut through. Calm but sharp. The mention of Su Qing brought up memories, bad ones, about her ex and about his parents. Your parents got that compensation money, didn't they? Wouldn't that have been better? He said flatly. Now look at you, no compensation. And in debt. Don't ever come crying to me again. You've wasted my time. His words snagged everyone's attention, especially Zhu Ding's. Did you two know each other? Someone asked. Su Qing immediately denied it. Flustered. What, me? Know a low-tier miner like him? No way. Maybe he's a fan. People online recognize me sometimes. But Li Yi's presence didn't seem worth a second glance to them. He was low status in their eyes. And they made that obvious. Su Qing, taking the lead in the insult, curled her lip. You seriously bring that kind of scum here? This place has standards. Don't drag it down with low-class trash. The words weren't even out of her mouth before Zhu Ding's temper snapped. He concentrated his chi into a fist and leapt at Li Yi like he intended to tear him apart. Except things didn't go as Zhu Ding expected. The moment he swung, he was met with a counter so sudden and precise that he staggered back. Shocked. What? How? He sputtered. The Fengming sword in Li Yi's hands hadn't been junk at all. The blade's edge flashed, and Zhu Ding found himself tasting humiliation instead of victory. Su Qing couldn't believe it. How could Zhu Ding fail like that? Hadn't he just said the sword cut through iron like sand? Zhu Ding didn't wait to answer. His rage boiled over. Electricity crackled along his fist as his aura flared into a wild, furious scream. You little punk, want to die? Li Yi watched the speed of Chu Ding's punch and compared it to the insect swarms he would been fighting. There was no contest. He easily leaned back and assessed him with cool appraisal. Too slow. Chu Ding had not realized the gap between them yet, so he still had the nerve to praise, not bad reflexes. But he was not done. His feet began to drum the ground in a measured, thunderous rhythm, an obvious prelude to a flurry of kicks. The moment the movement finished, Chu Ding unleashed a barrage of linked strikes. Spectacle aside, the flurry did almost nothing to Li Yi. Those attacks were far slower and clumsier than what he would face in the insect nest. Anger flared in Chu Ding's veins. Is not this miner supposed to be weaker than a rank E? He thought, and the more he panicked, the sloppier and less accurate his moves became. Why could not he hit someone who'd supposedly leveled up to rank D? Frustration bit him, and Li Yi decided he was not going to dodge forever. Shadow energy coalesced around Li Yi and tightened like a noose around Chu Ding, but the man answered arrogance with arrogance. You miner, get back in the cave where you belong. That line was exactly the kind that made Li Yi smile, a small, frightening smile. Li Yi seized the whip-like shadow strand in his hand and jerked it hard. In an instant Chu Ding's face met the ground in a brutal, humiliating slam. Ha! Tin ran forward in alarm, shouting, Brother Ding, but Chu Ding still had the strength to get back up. Damn! Not content to stop there, Li Yi displayed a mad, wolfish technique clearly inherited from Qin Tian and sharpened by years of bitter resentment. It seemed Chu Ding had a flair for playing dog, and that only pushed him further. The taunts unwound Chu Ding's remaining restraint. His temper snapped. "You suicidal punk," he bellowed, but before he could do more, a commanding voice cut across the chaos. "Stop, right now." With a single glance the newcomer took in the situation. It was Wang Defa, a rank D evolver. "Master Chu," Wang Defa said calmly but with a sterner edge, "you are my regular. But this is my stall. Taking people down in my shop is a bit much." Ting immediately grabbed the chance to throw the blame at Li Yi. "That damned miner broke Chu's treasured sword. That is why Chu struck." Wang Defa's brows tightened until they could pinch a fly. Once he learned Li Yi's identity as a miner, he instinctively sided with Chu Deng. "Did your sword really break because of that kid?" Wang Defa asked, assessing the situation. Li Yi answered coolly, a slight curl at the corner of his mouth. "He swung at me first. If his sword snapped, that is not my fault, right?" Wang Defa, playing at impartiality, turned the question back to Chu Deng. "Is that true, Master Chu?" he asked sotto voce. The implication was clear. Maybe the blade was not ordinary. Chu Deng, who clearly knew Wang Defa, immediately agreed. "Fine cash for me, goods for him." Wang Defa folded his arms and took the role of mediator. "If you trust me, Chu, I will arbitrate." Then he addressed Li Yi politely. "Kid, may I inspect that sword?" Li Yi handed over the black steel sword without hesitation. But Wang Defa was careless or overconfident, and when he lifted the blade he froze. Even as an evolver, it took effort for him to heft the thing. Doubt deepened in Wang Defa's expression. The sword weighed hundreds of jin, yet Li Yi had wielded it with ease. Was the kid an evolver after all? He decided to probe. "Where did a miner like you get a weapon like this?" he asked bluntly. Li Yi was not the type to spill everything. "Since when did black market trade require sellers to reveal their IDs and item provenance?" he shot back. Wang Defa did not look overly surprised. The question fit his private suspicions. And he said as much. "I was only asking. If you do not want to tell me, that is fine." Li Yi realized what was happening. He was being tested. Li Yi shrugged and put on an indifferent face. He could have lied. "Sure, I found this sword while mining," but he did not bother. Wang Defa believed him at once. After all, the kid looked every inch a low-level miner. Once convinced the boy knew nothing, Defa drove the price down into the abyss. "This blade is solid, but it has no special attributes, a few hundred at most. If Chu Shao's sword had not broken, it would be worth over 2 million, he announced, his black market heart as cold as his words. "Fine, I will take this old sword. You just compensate Master Chu 2 million, and I will reimburse you the rest." He spoke each syllable like a favor granted, waiting for Li Yi to bow and thank him. Chu Shao, quick to take advantage, played along. "All right. Bot Wang's vouched for it, so let us do it." Su Sheng, meanwhile, looked like he would swallowed an insult. "No way, that filthy miner's gonna cough up 2 million. You promised to buy it for me. Remember?" He wore his nastiest face for Li Yi. "Do not worry, sell his organs and you will get 2 million easy," he sneered, and someone nearby actually nodded with perverse approval. When the bargaining theater finally ended, Li Yi let out a cold little laugh. "You sure know how to scheme," he said, each word low and measured. Danger seemed to drip off him like sweat. "Enjoy the moment, then." Shadow energy braided with Qin Tian's imposing presence rose to cloak him, a silent, ferocious announcement that Li Yi was no longer just a miner to be bullied. Hearing the cue, the gang surged forward as if on command, intent on beating him down. Wang Defa casually turned to Chu Shao and sniffed. "This street brawl is boring, let us move to the tea parlor and wait for the outcome." He smirked and walked away. One of the thugs got kicked so hard he literally flew toward their group. "Abiu, watch it, do not break his stuff. You can't pay for that," Defa barked, but it did not matter, the advantage was not theirs. Li Yi's single stomp, no arms needed, sent several of them flying like rag dolls. One thug was flung straight into Chu Shao, who reflexively kicked him back. Years in the mines had hardened Li Yi. Muscle and reflex paid off. The insults and cheap taunts could not stop him. Hearing his father or some elder mocked, Li Yi bristled. He wanted to smack the guy into next week. The coward beside Chu Shao went pale, practically peeing himself. "When did this miner get so damn slick?" they whispered. Chu Shao, enraged, spat venom. "I will admit you got some tricks, you can handle trash rats, but in front of a rank D evolver like me, you are nothing but garbage." Then he lunged like a rocket. But Li Yi's hands were faster than Chu Shao's brain. He met the rush with a blistering slap that sent Chu Xiao stumbling backwards as if punched by a battering ram. Chu Xiao gnashed his teeth, materialized crackling electricity in his palm, and howled, "You hit me, I will fry you." He hurled a ball of lightning at Li Yi. Li Yi did not panic. He raised a defensive barrier that absorbed the electric assault, siphoning the energy into his guard. Chu Xiao's eyes widened. What the? It felt like hitting an invisible wall. Li Yi did not waste words. He walked straight up to Chu Xiao as if to deliver a lecture. "If your old man can't teach you manners, I will," he said flatly. Chu Xiao blanched, stammering, "Do not come near me," the corner thugs squealed. "Brother Ding, are not you rank D? Now you can't beat a minor." Li Yi closed the distance, then spun a strand of shadow like an iron net and bound Chu Xiao. The nearby woman screamed in fright. "What is this?" Chu Xiao sputtered, astonished at Li Yi's strength. "You are not a minor, you are a rank C or rank B evolver." "Right," Li Yi answered calmly, almost bored, "rank E minor. The union certified it." Chu Xiao barked, "No way," and reached for excuses. "Wait, I am with the Black Leopard gang." "You touching me is you picking a fight with the gang," he blurted. At that name Li Yi's face darkened. The Black Leopard gang, the extortionists who bled people dry. Then Li Yi's fists fell like thunder, each blow merciless, forcing even the woman at his side to back away. After he would had his fill, he kicked Chu Xiao so hard both went tumbling face first. The assembled thugs scrambled, humiliated and beaten, as Li Yi stood amid the wreckage breathing steady, eyes hard as stone. Chu Xiao even spat a mouthful of blood. He glared, furious. "I hate loan sharks like you, charging usury and squeezing people dry." At that moment Wang Defa charged in from behind, aiming a sneak strike. "Go to hell," he barked, the murderous intent flaring out of him only to be shoved back by Li Yi's counter. Li Yi shouted, "Get out." Seeing his senior humiliated like that, Chu Xiao abandoned all pride and dropped to his knees, begging. "It is a misunderstanding, please. I can pay 10,000, sir. Please let us just forget this today." Li Yi stepped forward, eyes hard. Turns out the man had a thick enough face that a mere slap was worth only 10,000. Terrified, he scrambled to raise the price. 50, no 100,000, do not hit my face. Li Yi ignored the pleading, hefted Chu Xiao up, and spoke coldly. "Were not you the kind who charged extortionate interest? Fine, let us go by your standard. Those 50 slaps were just the interest. Now pay the principal." He named a number that made the room go still, 500,000. At that, Chu Xiao fumbled a black card and shoved it toward him. 500,000. All on the table. Li Yi hesitated for a second as he recognized it, an Incorporation VIP card. So the men who'd forced him into mining and collected debts in NG's name were these thugs all along. If that was the case, his next move was obvious: release Chu Ding and let him lead the snake out into the open. Chu Xiao keeled and moaned that he would pay, swearing he would never do it again. Li Yi finally let him go. After all, over the years the Black Leopard gang had already taken hundreds of thousands from him. Consider this money returned to its original owner. Chu Xiao staggered away like a fish gasping for air. The woman who'd been clinging to him darted over to help. "Are you okay?" she cried. "Is not he supposed to be a minor?" someone asked. She fumbled a response, pretending to be shocked. "I want to know how he suddenly got so dangerous." When Chu Xiao got an answer he did not like, he slapped her hard. "If you had not said he was a minor, I would not have been ambushed like this." He fumed, dialing the number. "You just wait." Elsewhere, in a darker place strewn with corpses, the gang's bot picked up the phone. "Move," he ordered. Chu Ding, still whining, begged, "Bot, please cover for me. That kid stole the precious sword I was going to present to you. And that guy Nong Kuang says he will take down the whole Black Leopard gang." The bot's voice turned icy. "Send me everything you have got on that kid." After he hung up, the red-haired lackey approached. "Bot, we have got the files on him." "What now? Anyone still alive?" The question was loaded. Obeying orders, the redhead began to shred the bodies into bloody pieces. "Give me that kid alive or dead, do not care," the bot ordered. Meanwhile, the Shadow Knowledge Archive logged a fresh data point: Incorporation. The multinational conglomerate stood behind Li Yi's parents' deaths. The Black Leopard gang had been acting on NG's behalf, collecting his family's debt. The next morning, Li Yi arrived at the mission gate. Seeing him approach, the clerk hurried over and asked, "Can I help you with something?" I am an E-rank evolver, Li Yi replied calmly. I would like to see if there are any suitable missions for my level. The nearby adventurers who overheard him burst into mocking laughter. Did the association send an E-rank to the wrong district? The lowest missions here are D-rank. Are you trying to get yourself killed? What a joke, another sneered. An E-rank dares to speak up here, shameless. You bottom feeders live off the scraps we throw at you. You are nothing but parasites. Sensing the growing hostility, even the clerk joined in with the crowd's contempt. Please wait outside. E-ranks are to stay near the outer gate. If any teams need extra hands, they will come out to pick you. The crowd cackled. Yeah, the trash pile's right outside the gate. Garbage belongs with garbage. Li Yi ignored them all and focused on his goal. Checking his depleted balance, he muttered to himself, just got 5 million in my hands, and those loan shark bastards drained it clean again. The first priority was to secure a mission. Then, heavy footsteps approached. A suffocating aura filled the air, pressing down on everyone so hard that even breathing became difficult. This pressure at least B-rank, someone gasped. So that is what a B-rank presence feels like. I can't even move. The one exuding such power was none other than Tan Xian, the eldest daughter of the Tan family. Her appearance caused murmurs to spread through the crowd. Why would a B-rank come here? Standing at the back, Li Yi did not flinch. His mind was calm, his presence quietly firm. Outwardly, she looked like a delicate heiress, graceful, composed, seemingly harmless, but beneath that gentle exterior was a restrained yet overwhelming killing intent. Or was it that she had hidden it entirely? Her butler stepped forward and spoke. We are seeking an E-rank evolver for mining work inside a lower-tier beast domain. Is anyone willing? Li Yi stepped forward without hesitation. The onlookers buzzed again. Wait, is not that kid E-rank? How can he stand firm under a B-rank's pressure? My knees are shaking, should not he be on the ground by now? He is actually taking a step forward. Li Yi smirked confidently. Looks like I am the only one qualified, then. Tan Xian studied him with intrigue, her eyes appraising. He is just a minor, yet he is this calm beneath my aura. Interesting. The clerk, spotting a golden opportunity, rushed up eagerly. Ah, Lady Tan of District 35, we have plenty of D-rank evolvers available. Allow me to show you. She cut him off with a flick of her hand and pointed at Li Yi. No need. I will take him. The clerk froze. But, miss, he arrived late and has not even registered. That is against the rules. Tan Xian's gaze turned icy. I am the rules. I said I will take him. The clerk swallowed hard. Why yes, madam. Her butler opened the transport gate and bowed. This way, young lady. Watching their silhouettes fade beyond the portal, the clerk could not help but mutter, first time I have ever seen Lady Tan personally pick a minor. What is that guy's deal? A few moments later, they crossed into the dimensional gateway. Among the squad was a Bard-class evolver who whistled softly. Wherever he passed, beast heads burst apart in showers of blood, an impressive ability indeed. Walking behind the group, Li Yi silently assessed the team's formation. Decent lineup, he thought. Frontline, support, damage output all balanced. And with a B-rank leading, this should go smoothly. Still, something bothered him. The beasts here. Their strength far exceeds D-rank standards. Do not they notice? Jing Tian's voice echoed in his mind. Your shadow sight has advanced to stage 2. Your perception far surpasses theirs. Li Yi replied inwardly, maybe, but that heiress must have sensed it too. Could it be she is pretending not to know, hiding it for some reason? Just then, Lu Dongsha approached Tan Xian and reported, according to intel, the luminous ore vein you are looking for lies just ahead. Tan Xian turned and beckoned. Minor, come with me. Li Yi sighed. On my way, he muttered, though inwardly grumbling, seriously, she knows it is dangerous and still sends the minor in first, damn rich girl. After walking for a while, Li Yi could not help but feel a growing sense of unease. The ominous aura around them was becoming stronger and stronger. Does this young lady really not care about the lives of her minors and subordinates, he thought. Or is she so confident in her B-rank power that she believes she can guarantee everyone's safety no matter what happens? Just as he was lost in thought, the ground beneath them suddenly gave way. Both Li Yi and Tan Xian plunged into a deep pit of darkness. When he looked ahead, his brows furrowed. It was a D-rank Minotaur-type beast. The moment she saw the creature, Tan Xian drew her sword. Li Yi, however, stood still, watching her. Oh, so the B-rank evolver is finally going to make a move, he mused. Energy began to surge around Tan Xian, her presence commanding and intimidating, yet her face betrayed a faint trace of fear. Suddenly, she took a few steps back and shouted, "Minor, you go first, I will cover you." Li Yi blinked, momentarily stunned. Huh, I am just a minor. Tan Xian's hands trembled. Her pride crumbled as she knelt, clutching his hand tightly. I do not care, just go, fight them. Li Yi tried to pull his hand free, but she held on tight. You are a B-rank evolver, he said incredulously, and you expect an E-rank minor like me to deal with this? How's that supposed to work? Inside, he was groaning. I am just a hired laborer, not a hero. Why would I risk my neck for minor pay? I will give you 1 million yuan, she cried out desperately, tears welling up as her voice softened into something that almost sounded like a pleading kitten. Please, just handle them. Li Yi sighed. Fine. For that kind of money, I will make an exception. He reluctantly unleashed his energy, forming 2 razor-sharp daggers in his hands. Calmly stepping forward, he muttered, can't let my paycheck get shredded before I even earn it. As the Minotaurs charged in, he noticed something strange. They were not targeting him at all, but Tan Xian instead. She stood frozen, paralyzed with fear, and screamed for help. Li Yi's expression darkened. Damn it, my million. Suddenly, a powerful burst of energy erupted from Tan Xian's body, blasting the beasts away. The shockwave was so strong that even Li Yi had to take a step back. He blinked in surprise. So she had a trump card after all. Guess I was worried for nothing. But the reprieve did not last long. The Minotaurs, though thrown aside, roared and charged at her again. This time, Li Yi darted forward with incredible speed and slashed through one of them, splitting it cleanly in 2. Hey, he called out, glancing back at her, why do they seem so obsessed with you? Before he could finish, Tan Xian had already grabbed her sword and bolted. I will leave the rest to you, she shouted as she sprinted away. Li Yi stared blankly for a moment, speechless. Unbelievable, he muttered, then turned back and finished off the remaining Minotaurs himself. After running a good distance, Tan Xian finally stopped to catch her breath. This should be far enough, she panted. But just as she started to relax, a shadow loomed behind her. One of the Minotaurs had followed her all the way. Her eyes widened in terror as she stumbled backward, trembling. Why? Why are not you afraid of me? Without a word, the beast raised its weapon, ready to crush her skull. Back where Li Yi stood, he sensed what was happening and frowned. That is odd. She should have been able to counterattack. Why is she acting like this? Then, all of a sudden, the bracelet on Tan Xian's wrist activated. A surge of energy burst out, forming a glowing barrier that shielded her just in time. The Minotaur was hurled backward straight toward Li Yi. He instinctively sidestepped, avoiding the impact. As the bracelet shattered into fragments, he realized what it was. A defensive artifact. He murmured, so that blast earlier was not her own power at all. Wait, he said, looking at her. You are a non-combat evolver, are not you? Tan Xian's cheeks flushed with embarrassment. Yeah. Then she quickly added, panicked, but listen, you can't tell anyone about this once we are out, got it? Li Yi smirked. That is gonna cost you extra. Still, one question nagged at him. Why did those Minotaurs only attack her? Li Yi quickly activated his level 2 Shadow Eye, and only then did he realize the truth. Someone had been manipulating things from the shadows, completely concealing their presence. No wonder I could not sense him earlier. The Minotaur's erratic behavior was not random at all, it was being influenced by some strange, rhythmic waves. On Tan Xian's side, things had grown dire. Terrified, she shouted, Hey, you minor, do something. For the sake of that 1 million yuan, Li Yi gritted his teeth and dashed in to cover her. Guess my job is not done yet, he muttered, before slicing off another Minotaur's head in one clean motion. Damn it, he thought, watching as more and more of the creatures converged on their location. They are multiplying fast. I can't use my area of effect skills or I will risk hitting Tan Xian. If I can't break this stalemate soon, I will get worn down to death. Then a realization struck him. Wait. If that bastard's real target is Tan Xian, I can use his own plan against him. Just hand her over, then strike when he least expects it. He called out in a calm tone, "Hey, your protective artifacts are already spent, and since you are a non-combat evolver, you would better stay alert or you will get caught off guard." Tan Siyun's face turned bright red. "Why would you say that out loud?" she snapped, mortified. Meanwhile, as Li Yi fended off a wave of minotaurs, a shadowy figure emerged from behind them, a man gripping a dagger. "A mere minor," the stranger muttered darkly. "And yet, you almost threw my entire plan into chaos." His eyes shifted toward Tan Siyun. "A non-combat evolver with no artifacts left. Allow me to send you on your way. If you want to blame someone, blame your foolish father." He raised the dagger high, but before the blade could fall, a sharp slash cut across his arm. The man screamed, dropping the weapon as blood splattered across the ground. His face finally came into the light. It was Lu Deng the Bard, who'd been using subsonic waves to control the minotaurs. The system interface flickered to life. D-rank controller, Bard class evolver, Lu Deng. Lu Deng let out a crazed laugh. "Did not think I would lose to a damn minor. I underestimated you. But do not think you have won." His body began to emit a terrifying energy, drawing in the corpses of the fallen minotaurs. Their remains fused into his flesh as his aura intensified. "I will show you the power of a true controller," he growled. Li Yi's eyes narrowed. "That aura. It is C-rank already." Tan Siyun's face went pale with fear. The ground beneath them started to glow red hot as magma seeped through the cracks. "No way," she gasped. "Is he evolving into a lava minotaur, a C-rank variant?" Li Yi swallowed hard. "Jumping from D-rank to C-rank in one go, that is not evolution, that is pure cheating." Lu Deng's transformation completed in an explosion of molten energy. His body warped into a massive, magma-skinned minotaur radiating pure destruction. Two helpless D-ranks stood before him, easy prey. Li Yi quickly conjured a defensive barrier to block the first devastating strike. The sheer impact made the shield ripple and melt. "So this is C-rank power," he muttered. "We are completely outmatched." Tan Siyun's eyes widened when she saw the burns on his arm. "You are hurt." But Lu Deng was not about to let up. He advanced with thunderous steps, each swing of his massive axe sending shockwaves through the chamber. Knowing they could not win head-on, Li Yi grabbed Tan Siyun's hand and pulled her with him. "Hold on tight." Just as Lu Deng's axe came crashing down, Li Yi unleashed his binding chains technique. Metal-like tendrils shot out from his foot, wrapping around Lu Deng's arm and halting him mid-swing. The monster roared, muscles straining as he tried to break free. Tan Siyun blinked in surprise. "You can use control-type skills too." "Not for long," Li Yi replied. "Run while you can." He glanced at her seriously. "Listen, once you enter the maze ahead, keep running straight. Do not stop. The farther you get, the better." "What about you?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I will hold him off. Someone has to buy you time." When they reached the labyrinth entrance, Li Yi stopped and gave her one last look, calm but resolute. "Hide well. I will come find you soon." It sounded almost gallant, but in truth, Li Yi was simply thinking about the money. "That 1 million yuan is still mine," he told himself dryly. A system notification appeared in his vision. Dark Knowledge Archive, new entry recorded. Classification, Beast Realm. A world inhabited by beast-type entities. Observed species, D-rank Minotaur, C-rank Lava Minotaur. Back in the magma-lit cavern, Lu Deng, now a molten Minotaur, snarled like a rabid bull. "Where are you hiding?" he roared. "You can't escape me." High above, perched on a rocky ledge, Li Yi smirked. Looking for someone, he called down lazily. "Where is Tan Siyun?" Lu Deng bellowed, his eyes burning with feral rage. In contrast to Lu Deng's animalistic fury, Li Yi's tone was calm, almost mocking. The man below looked like a beast in heat, desperate to find his prey, while Li Yi was already several steps ahead, waiting for his chance to strike. He swung wildly at Li Yi without a second thought, but Li Yi was quicker. He sidestepped with a cat-like ease. "Guess what?" Li Yi taunted, then slipped behind him and slashed at the man's calf. The cut did nothing. It did not even nick the rock-hard surface, could not even pierce the crevice. Lu Deng laughed, triumphant and mocking. "Are you stupid? You use a blade to cut stone." No sooner had he finished than he heaved his weapon down again, giving Li Yi no time to rest. As he ran, Li Yi ran the situation through his head. The lava field is too wide to deal with directly, he thought. Lure him to a more open spot first, like drawing a mouse into the open. When he reached a place that would do, he stopped. Seeing Li Yi halt, Lu Deng sneered, goading him, "What else can you do besides run?" Li Yi activated Shadow Sight and searched for any seam or weakness, because no matter how strong an enemy is, there must be a weak point. Lu Deng barreled forward in a frenzy, shouting, "Kill you first, then I will go find that little girl. You are dead meat." He surged on all fours like a beast and rammed at Li Yi. Now Li Yi moved like a seasoned bullfighter. He ducked and wove, and when Lu Deng's charge missed, the beast cursed. Then Li Yi spotted it, a pocket of latent energy at the back of Lu Deng's armor. Found it. He flashed forward, hefting his heavy blade to strike, but Lu Deng was faster. The man twisted his gauntleted fist behind him. "You think I do not know what you are planning?" Lu Deng barked. Against this raw force, tricks were useless. He slammed Li Yi hard against a far wall. Li Yi sat there, gasping, thinking, "Incredible power, this is only C rank." Lu Deng, thinking quickly, charged again. "Let us see where you run now." Li Yi formed a black cord and waited for the right moment. Seeing Li Yi using a ruse, Lu Deng scoffed. "Oh, you are not running. You will try stabbing me with a dagger, pathetic." He swung his axe at Li Yi. "Your little cuts just irritate me." Li Yi shaped a dagger out of his dark energy and readied himself for Lu Deng's next blow. Then, right as the axe came down, he flinched. Something stung him. Too hot. Even his dark energy could not fully block the intense heat. The energy node at Lu Deng's back was sealed within a blistering furnace, radiating scorching heat. Li Yi had to back off. "You are smarter than I thought," he admitted silently. "This one knows how to hide his weakness." Lu Deng sneered. "I do not know how you figured it out, but you did. Knowing it won't help you. There is heat over 2000 degrees in there. Tell me where Tan Xian is, and I might spare you." Li Yi only let out a cold laugh at the ingratitude. "Ungrateful bastard," he thought. "I do not trust you." Enraged at being scorned, Lu Deng went berserk and roared, "You are courting death. Take an axe from me." Then, with that, he swung the axe again in a wild, vicious arc. "If you can, try not to dodge." Li Yi whispered the move names under his breath, shaped the darkness into a flurry of blades, then sent a snapping shadow line toward him. He stalled, taunting as if to say, "You're not going to dodge, right?" At that moment Li Yi unleashed his special. The darkness made rope. It snaked around and probed for Lu Deng's core, but the core was too hot. And the rope melted away the instant it touched. Lu Deng laughed, delighted. "Useless," he mocked. Annoyed, Li Yi clicked his tongue. "What a pain." He gave up on struggling. Lu Deng made a few basic feints at him, and Li Yi, by feel, could still avoid them. He bounded to one side, thinking, "The dark energy drain is enormous. If I keep this up it'll be dangerous. Is asking Qin Tian for help my only option? No." He immediately realized that even if he had to risk everything, he would not let Qin Tian take over his body again. Li Yi analyzed and acted on instinct. Besides, killing AC rank would give him a huge experience payout. He couldn't just waste that. He leapt up onto Lu Deng's head and drove a heel strike straight for the core. He refused to accept that it couldn't be broken. He turned his power into a spear and drove down. By a hair his spear tip reached the core before Lu Deng could stop him. Lu Deng screamed in pain, his life force near exhaustion, then went berserk. Attack plus 200%. Crit rate plus 200%. Speed plus 200%. He wildly burst out, throwing Li Yi off. Li Yi slammed into a nearby rock wall and spat blood. Why did this guy suddenly go insane? The core was scorching, his attacks had a burn effect. Lu Deng charged again, furious. Some lowly miner dared push him to this point? That's it, he sneered. Suddenly Li Yi felt something shift in his head. He realized why the dark energy roaring through him seemed far stronger than before. Qin Tian popped up to explain. That energy has actually been inside you the whole time. It's just that your body was never tempered by extreme heat before, so you couldn't channel it outward. Unintentionally, Li Yi had struck correctly. He'd unlocked a new form of dark energy. Li Yi raised a hand to test it. And to his surprise, the dark streams were already healing his wounds. A system prompt flashed. Awakening, darkness enhancement, basic. Qin Tian whispered. It's not just healing. Seeing Li Yi recover so fast, Lu Deng suddenly felt a flicker of fear. How could the kid's wound heal so quickly? And the aura radiating from him was even more unnatural than before. He absolutely could not let Li Yi recover any longer. Lu Deng threw everything into a downward swing, but Li Yi simply dodged. Lu Deng blinked in disbelief. Could this kid really keep up with his triple-boosted speed? Strange. Is this really only an E rank? The idea excited him, so he ramped up the assault. I'll drown this place in lava and see where you run. Standing square in the path of Lu Deng's fire, Li Yi didn't flinch. Pride swelled in Lu Deng. He thought himself superior. Let the magma burn you to ash. Only then did he notice something odd. Li Yi did not dodge. He stood his ground and let Lu Deng strike him. Is this a darkness enhancement? Only basic level and already this dangerous. What will happen when it peaks? Lu Deng riled, sneered. This little brazier of yours is too weak. Suddenly fear iced his voice, and he jerked back a step. Impossible, no way. Li Yi slowly stepped forward. You were swinging pretty confidently just a moment ago. Now it's my turn. He smiled, then pressed forward. Li Yi grinned and leveled his blade at Lu Deng. They lunged at each other. Li Yi shifted his weapons into a pair of daggers and, in a single sweeping strike, shredded Lu Deng's stone-like arm into fragments of enhanced shadow shards. His defense, strength, and speed spiked by 200%. Lu Deng's eyes blinked in shock. This kid then flew into a rage. With his remaining arm he tried to snatch Li Yi and squeeze him dry. But not a hair on Li Yi's head could be touched because, well, he's the protagonist. The punk didn't stand a chance. Li Yi tested his limits. While in the darkness-enhanced state, his concentrated strikes could deal long-range damage. He slashed with the daggers and poured energy into the blades so each cut through chunks of shadow farther outward. Lu Deng lost both arms in the exchange, but his body had a special mechanism. Lava energy could be converted to regrow a new arm. As long as there's magma, I can reincarnate forever. Your attacks are useless. He gloated. Li Yi frowned. Reincarnate forever? Lu Deng yelled. Try me again. Then, and he chopped wildly with his twin axes, tracking Li Yi's every move. Strike after strike, again and again, but no matter how he swung he couldn't land Lu Yi. Instead, Lu Deng's hand shriveled noticeably. What the? How is this happening? He spat. Li Yi explained calmly. You've hit your limit. Stop and accept it. You were all swagger a second ago. And now you're a sad little pup. Hold on, we don't have any personal grudge here. Lu Deng blurted, bargaining. But there's 1 million right in front of us. How can Li Yi just let that go? Qin Xian paid me $1 million to make sure she's safe. The plea was clumsy, but Lu Deng desperately tried to buy his way out. Hand over Qin Xian to me. When I get back to Rongqing I'll pay you not just 1 million but 5 million. He begged with his small, greedy hands. Li Yi smiled, mildly entertained. And when you get back to Rongqing, you won't flip and betray me? You won't lead people to kill me for the payout? He let the words hang heavy. Lu Deng's hands trembled as he begged. No, no, would I be so petty and ungrateful? You reminded me, I wouldn't do that. Li Yi only offered a half smile. Let a traitor like you fall into the hands of Qin Xian's father. Qin Shaochong. He'd relish dealing with anyone who harmed his daughter. Saving Qin Xian and exposing the mole would bind the Longmen Sanhai to him. That favor would be worth far more than 5 million. Feeling the stalemate couldn't be resolved peacefully, Lu Deng thought fast. If he ended up in Qin Shaochang's hands, life would be worse than death, and his organization wouldn't spare his family either. With a dark look he reached for a relic he'd been keeping. Qin Tian, who'd been watching with growing alarm, suddenly went rigid. How did Lu Deng get a fragment of the Abyss Gate? If that shard got destroyed, the only link between the beastly realm and the outside world would be severed. The teleport gate would vanish and everyone would be trapped here forever. No way Li Yi would let that happen. At that moment Lu Deng gloated. You forced me. Faster than lightning. Something blurred, and the relic was snatched from Lu Deng's hand. It was Li Yi, Who'd teleported behind him while he wasn't paying attention? He didn't stop there. With lightning speed, Li Yi finished Lu Deng off, plunging his dagger into the exposed core. When it was over, Li Yi vaulted back, to make absolutely sure Lu Deng could never move again. He threaded darkness through every crevice of Lu Deng's body, freezing him solid. As Lu Deng collapsed, a red magic orb popped up from his corpse. Li Yi absorbed it right away. No wonder the other brute bosses had lacked energy cores, they were all here. He felt the surge. A level-up skill unlocked. Image Phantom 2 to Supreme Image Phantom. The cave rumbled violently. Qin Tian, hurry! Qin Tian urged. The Abyss Beast's power source came from those magma bosses. Now that they're gone, the whole place is collapsing. Rocks began to shake. The cavern that had been sustained by the lava-powered guardians started to crumble. Li Yi had the relic and the core. Everything in this place was falling apart. A while later, at the exit of Abyssal Vein, the scavengers who had gone in together were chatting animatedly. Man, that scared the hell out of me back there. Tell me about it. I didn't expect an actual earthquake inside. Lucky we made it out alive. Just then, Qin Xiyan spotted Li Yi emerging from the fissure and called out. I didn't expect your strength to be this high. You're far beyond Class E. Are you interested in joining Longmen Sanhai? My father wouldn't treat a fighter like you unfairly. But Li Yi shook his head slightly, avoiding her gaze. I'm not considering joining any faction for now. And as for my abilities, I'd appreciate it if you could keep that between us. Qin Xiyan sighed in resignation, then handed him the promised payment. All right, think it over. Here's 1 million yuan, exactly what you earned. Li Yi accepted it with a grin. Generous of you. Thanks. Suddenly remembering the heavy sword he'd picked up, he pulled it out and asked. Right. Does Longmen Sanhai buy weapons like this? Qin Xiyan examined the blade carefully. It doesn't have any energy fluctuations, but the material itself is extraordinary. I'll take it back for appraisal. Once its value's confirmed, you'll get your full share. I guarantee that. Got it, Li Yi replied, handing it over without hesitation. I'll wait for your news. With that, he turned and left alone. As he walked, he thought to himself, Qin Xiyan seems pretty knowledgeable about weapons. If she realizes how valuable this stuff really is, I'll finally have a proper buyer for everything I loot. Then again, even if she turns out like that crook Chu Ding or old man Wang, it's fine. $1 million in hand isn't a loss either way. Once he got home, Li Yi pulled out the relic for a closer look. That fragment of the Abyss Gate, what exactly is it? How important could it be? Qin Tian's voice surfaced, answering calmly. If you can collect enough fragments, I can help you attain power at Class S, maybe even beyond that. Li Yi stared at the shard, lost in thought. Class S power, huh? Meanwhile, Qin Tian's tone grew more pensive. The Abyss Gate fragments resurfacing, could that mean they're still active out there? I need to get this kid back to full strength, he's the key. One day, he'll have to face entities far beyond human comprehension. He paused. Should I tell him now? Nope, too soon. It would only frighten him. Let him grow stronger first. Then the system interface flickered before Li Yi's eyes. Status update. Rank D. Abilities: Treasury of Knowledge, Dark Morph, Supreme Shadow Clone, Basic Darkness Enhancement. The next night, Li Yi stood atop a high cliff, gazing down at the Ing Corporation's Class E restricted zone, a site still sealed off after a so-called mining accident. His sharp eyes caught the silhouettes of guards below, 1 Class B, 3 Class C, and several elite advancement stage warriors. The entire area was locked down tighter than a fortress. He murmured under his breath, just as I thought. With my current strength, I am still not ready to uncover the truth. Jing Tian's voice cut in lazily. It is just a Class E interdimensional gateway. What is there to investigate? Li Yi's tone turned cold. My parents are in there. So is the truth behind their deaths. His mind replayed that day, the day everything fell apart. Back then, the executive, Shi Hao, had thrown a stack of bills on the table, his voice dripping with disdain. Here's 200,000 N. Compensation from Ing Corporation. Take it and sign the death certificate. He sneered. What is wrong? Too little for you. Li Yi had stood there, stunned, unable to process the absurdity. I want the truth, he said quietly. Shi Hao grabbed him by the hair and forced his head down toward the document. Did not I already tell you? There was an accident in the mine. Your parents and the others are dead. Li Yi's grief turned to fury. No, my parents were both Class C advancement warriors. How could they die in a minor incident? They must still be alive. Let me in there to find them. The guards moved in immediately, seizing him by the collar. Kid, you think this is a playground? That site's unstable. Even Class C advents are not guaranteed to come back alive. Dragged away, Li Yi kept shouting, it is only a Class E rift. The highest level wraiths there are still Class E. My parents could have survived. The guard yanked him roughly, snarling, quit your whining, brat. You are lucky we are not throwing you in there yourself. But Li Yi would not stop. Even if they were attacked, they could have escaped. They are not ordinary miners. That was when the guard snapped, eyes flashing. So that is it? You're trying to squeeze more money out of us, huh? You little bastard looking for death. He raised his hand to strike, but before the blow could land, a commanding voice rang out. Enough. Everyone froze. The man who had spoken was named Dong Hao, the chairman of Incorporation, and a Class A advancement warrior. Shi Hao's face drained of color. President Nain. Dong Hao's glare was enough to make the man wilt. I told you to comfort the victims' families, not assault them. Is this what you call compassion? Shi Hao stammered. Sir, I was just. I do not want excuses, Dong Hao said curtly. Then he turned toward Li Yi, his expression softening. He knelt and placed the stack of bills into the boy's trembling hands. Take it. 200,000 yen may not be much, but it should help you get through this. Li Yi's eyes were hollow. I do not want money, he said flatly. I just want the truth. Dong Hao nodded solemnly. You will have it. I promise we will investigate thoroughly and give you an answer. But that answer never came. Back in the present, Li Yi clenched his fists. I thought that when the chairman himself promised, I would learn what really happened to my parents. Instead, Ing accused them of theft and sent me a bill demanding millions in compensation. Jing Tian, in his low power mode, broke the silence. Does not matter what race or species you are without power, you will always be trampled. Instead of standing here brooding, why not find more Nethergate fragments? Once you gain absolute strength, the truth you are chasing will take only a single word to uncover. The system feed flickered before him, filled with chatter from other shadows. Li Yi sighed. If it were not for the fact that dark energy can't be detected, and if I were not classified as a Class E miner, maybe someone would have invited me into a team by now. He muttered to himself, this guy sometimes he says he wants to take over my body, other times he helps me level up. So which is it? Is he a friend or a villain? And why has he gotten smaller lately? Did his power weaken too? If he really is insane, then all that talk about helping me reach Class S might just be empty nonsense. Jing Tian suddenly roared in his mind. Enough, brat, if it were not for your tiny spark of potential, I would not waste my time on you. Li Yi blinked. Huh, what did I even say? Why are you yelling all of a sudden? The chat feed filled with more bickering. Li Yi rubbed his temples. Great, he is losing it again. I should really find a cure for whatever mental disorder he has got. Just then, his phone vibrated with a new notification. Curious, Jing Tian peeked at it alongside him. Mission update. Scene transition D-Class Chemical Zone, Demon's Wasteland Sector, before the Nethergate. The gatekeeper frowned. Why are you late? Li Yi lowered his head apologetically. Sorry, I was a bit far away, he said, muttering to himself. Well, I did just sprint all the way from another E-rank zone. Uncle He spotted him and waved. Li Yi, long time no see. Uncle He, it has been a while, Li Yi greeted warmly. You are here for this mission too. The older man looked him up and down and chuckled. You have grown so much. It has been, what, 5 years since your parents' accident. Just then, several other figures appeared: Guo Da, Guo and Guo San, all mercenary class evolvers ranked C. One of them sneered. I thought we were waiting for some big shot. Turns out it is just a damn miner. The gatekeeper forced a smile. Sorry about that. This mission involves a mining zone, so we did not dare trouble high-rank evolvers for such work. Guo Da waved impatiently. Quit wasting time. Tell us what the mission is. The target zone is a D-rank Ghostland, the gatekeeper explained. Our task is to locate a deposit of mystic ice ore and extract 60 kilograms of samples. Li Yi, hearing the commotion, glanced their way and frowned. 4 evolvers for a D-rank Ghostland, that is overkill. He could sense a faint murderous aura from the mercenaries, definitely not the friendly type. What is more, something deeper in the Ghostland radiated a faint C-rank presence. Among those entering the gate was also a stranger nicknamed Hei Zi, a C-rank mercenary evolver. Meanwhile, somewhere else, a red-haired man watched the group through his phone screen, a wicked grin on his face. My playthings are all gathered. Let the hunting game begin. This man was Shui Bao, the Blood Panther deputy leader of the Panther Gang. System side note, Darknet database update: fragments of the dimensional gate serve as keys to open or seal interdimensional rifts. Energy crystals have a chance to boost an evolver's power level and are often called experience packs. Once the team passed through the gate, Uncle He noticed that Li Yi was not wearing any protective gear. Li Yi, are not you going to put on your suit? Li Yi shrugged. No need. I am an evolver now. I can handle it. Guo San laughed mockingly. An evolver minor, that is a rare breed. Guo Da snorted. Cut it out, Guo San. Though, calling him the king of junkyards is not too far off. Uncle He tried to calm things down. Li Yi, do not bother arguing with them. Li Yi smiled faintly. Do not worry, Uncle He. I am not the impulsive type. But his mind was elsewhere. The vegetation here had clearly been tampered with, trimmed and rearranged to make hiding easier. He could feel a chill in the air, an aura of bloodlust lurking nearby. A flicker of movement caught his eye, but he remained calm, pretending not to notice. So, they are ready to make a move, huh? He glanced at the hooded figure ahead. That C-rank mercenary he would sensed it too. Hiding in the dark to spy on us, or planning something worse. Hey, you useless miner, Guo San barked. Move your ass, you are holding us up. Uncle He hurried forward nervously. Right, we will speed up. Annoyed, Li Yi considered letting those fools walk into danger first. Perfect. I can use the terrain to lose them and observe from a safe distance. He grabbed Uncle He's wrist. Hold on tight. Then he burst forward with explosive speed, dragging the older man along. What that speed? He is supposed to be a miner, one of the mercenaries exclaimed. Let them go, Guo Da said dismissively. Those 2 idiots leaving us behind is just them running toward their own deaths. Up in a tree branch, Shui Bao crouched, watching with predator-like hunger. Running away already, so they have sensed the danger. Good. If everyone were as dumb as those 3, this game would be boring. Just then, Guo frowned. Bot, something's off. I have got this weird feeling like we are being watched. Quit being paranoid, Guo Da snapped. It is just a D-rank mission. 3 C ranks like us can handle it easily. But Guo San sniffed the air. No, bot, he is right. I smell blood. Something's wrong. I am getting chills. He hesitated. Maybe we should head back. Guo Da glared at him. Do not start this crap too. Suddenly, a violent gust howled through the area. Guo and Guo Da instinctively leapt back as a blood-red whip lashed out. Shui Bao emerged from the shadows, grinning. The crimson tendrils wrapped tightly around Guo San. The game's only just begun, he laughed darkly. And you already want to quit? Guo San screamed as the blood whip constricted tighter and tighter. Be blood. Blood Panther. Guo shouted, Shui Bao, let go of my 3rd brother. If you want to bargain, we can talk it out. Guo San could not hold back. Tears streamed down his face as he cried, save my brother. Shui Bao only tightened the blood whip around him. Talk, he sneered. You 3 keep starting trouble with the Black Leopard Gang. What is left to discuss? With that, he yanked the tendril hard. Guo San disintegrated into bloody pieces right in front of his 2 brothers. When words won't work, fists will. Enraged, Guo leapt forward. Shui Bao, I will die fighting you, Guo Da shouted. Do not go, brother, do not. Everything was within Shui Bao's sight. He wrapped a crimson strand around Guo's wrist and threaded it through his body. Die, do you think you deserve it? Then he pulled hard. And Guo's body went limp and useless. Staring at his fallen brother, Guo stammered in terror. Monsters run. He bolted like a madman. Shui Bao laughing like a lunatic behind him. Run faster, terrified prey tastes best. Meanwhile, Li Yi and Uncle He had paused to light a campfire and rest. Uncle He, let us take a short break, Li Yi said. Since there were only the two of them, the older man asked curiously. Li Yi, why did you abandon those evolvers back there? Li Yi turned the question back on him. Uncle He, have you offended anyone or any organization recently? Uncle He blinked. I am just a miner, who would I offend? Li Yi's expression went serious. Because this mission was a death trap. Someone set it up to bury us alive in this cursed place. The old man paled. Do not scare me. Li Yi pressed. Uncle He, if you know anything, tell me. Just then Guo who had managed to escape, barreled back in furious. He pointed at Li Yi, shouting, so you knew something was wrong and did not tell us, you let my brothers die. Li Yi merely smiled to himself. Not entirely useless, after all at least he helped me drag the mastermind into the light before dying. Guo raged and cursed. You son of a, what are you saying? I told you were going to die. Li Yi glared back, unmoved. Suddenly Shui Bao from nowhere snapped a blood thread around Guo on the spot. When did he get that close? He would taken an interest in Li Yi and called out, intrigued, who would have thought a miner like you would be interesting? At that, Li Yi activated his higher level shadow vision. He leapt down effortlessly from above. After finishing off Guo Uncle He recoiled in shock, stumbling backward. Blood Panther, no, Blood Clan, please, I beg you, spare us, he pleaded desperately. We are just miners, we have no grudge with you. Shui Bao grinned from ear to ear, completely ignoring the older man and fixing his crimson gaze solely on Li Yi. You and I have no quarrel. But if you had not gotten drunk a few nights ago and run your mouth, we never would have known that you were the one who slipped through the net. A data overlay flickered before Li Yi's eyes. Species, human. Weak point, marked. Combat level, C. Skill, Blood Spider Silk utilizes high-frequency vibration for cutting efficiency. Effective attack range, 10 meters. Uncle He trembled and begged again, I swear, I will take this secret to the grave, I won't tell a soul. But Shui Bao just chuckled darkly. I believe in one thing, only the dead can keep secrets. As the blood threads whipped toward them, Li Yi shouted, Uncle, watch out, but it was too late. The threads pierced Uncle He's shoulder, pinning him in place, motionless and slumped in a corner. Damn it. Li Yi had no choice but to fight back. He lunged forward, exchanging blows with Shui Bao in a furious clash of offense and defense. Well, Shui Bao smirked. Did not think a miner like you would have some skill. No wonder you were able to take care of that Chu Dane. But then his killing intent surged. Still, you are nothing special, only good enough to handle a small fry like him. Using the terrain to his advantage, he unleashed a storm of blood threads that coiled toward Li Yi from all directions. Even so, Li Yi held his ground, unscathed. Eager to die first, are you? I will grant your wish, Shui Bao snarled. Li Yi activated his dark amplification to repel the onslaught. Yet, the enhancement barely made a difference. His dark energy could not fully withstand Shui Bao's attacks. Losing patience, Shui Bao roared, still distracted, are you, and slashed with his razor-sharp claws, sending Li Yi flying into the base of a nearby tree. Li Yi, Uncle He ran toward him, panicked. Do not come closer, Li Yi barked, forcing himself upright. A head-on fight's suicide. I need to change tactics. Shui Bao licked a crimson drop from his palm and sneered, no rush. You are both going to die today anyway. Li Yi retorted, that is not certain yet. He activated Supreme Shadow Vision, shaping his dark energy into twin daggers and hurling them toward his enemy. Shui Bao blocked the blades with a swipe of blood threads, smirking. Is that all? Of course not, Li Yi shot back, darting upward to flank him from a blind angle, but Shui Bao anticipated it. You have got a few tricks, minor boy, he said coldly. Too bad you are just level E. With a flick of his threads, he shredded Li Yi's daggers into fragments. At that moment, Hazy finally struck. Bursting up from underground, he roared, die, Blood Panther, his flexible body coiled around the enemy, binding him tightly. Shui Bao laughed mockingly. I thought you would wait until the end to make your move. Pity your ability is your greatest weakness. Close combat happens to be my specialty. With a sinister hum, his blood threads wrapped around Hazy's body before he could react. What? Hazy cried, just before he was torn apart into gory chunks. Die. Li Yi stood frozen for a moment, stunned. AC level evolver. Taken down in an instant. There was no time to hesitate. He rushed to grab Uncle He and drag him away. Our power gap is too wide, Uncle He. We need to retreat now. Run. But Shui Bao's grin turned feral. You think you can escape me? After a while, dusk began to fall. Li Yi helped Uncle He to a secluded tree and said, let me treat your wound first. Once it is dark enough, I will find us a way out. When Li Yi finished bandaging him, Uncle He pushed his hand away. Just go. I will only slow you down. Li Yi frowned. Uncle He, what did you do? Why is Shui Bao so determined to kill you? The old man hesitated, his eyes shadowed. Because I might know the truth behind your parents' deaths. Li Yi froze, anger rising in his chest. What did you just say? He grabbed Uncle He by the shoulders. You know something, do not you? Tell me. Uncle He averted his gaze. I am not completely sure. But if Shui Bao's here to kill me, then it proves something's wrong with Tui Shihao. He took a shaky breath and continued. Back then, before the mining accident, your father told me he suspected that Tui Shihao was conducting dangerous experiments inside the mine. A few days later, the disaster struck. And your parents were framed for stealing ore. Li Yi grabbed his uncle by the collar in anger. Why didn't you tell me back then? He demanded. Suddenly Zhu Hatch broke down, tears streaming as he apologized helplessly. I'm sorry about your parents. But I'm only a miner, I couldn't afford to lose my job. I have a family to feed. The old man's remorse cut into Li Yi, who pushed him away in fury. So you let my parents suffer that injustice? Li Yi spat. Zhu Hatch bowed his head and answered, voice small and ashamed, I felt terrible too. If I hadn't been drunk that night and gone blubbering to people, none of this would have happened. Uncle, Li Yi started, but before he could say more, Shui Bao leapt out from behind a tree and shredded everything in its path. Struck by the blow, Zhu Hatch whimpered and begged for pity before collapsing. I'm sorry. Li Yi, please don't hate me. He gasped. It turned out Shui Bao had overheard the whole conversation. The creature sneered. You sounded familiar. So you're the son of those two rank C people. Fine, I'll send you down there so you can be reunited with your parents. Then it lunged at Li Yi. Li Yi answered in kind. He threw himself into the fight. They hacked and killed with a madness that shook the air. But momentum shifted toward Shui Bao after it wounded Li Yi. The beast taunted with relish. How is it? Seeing your body drenched in blood, doesn't it thrill you? Li Yi could only grit his teeth and endure. Your blood thread silk isn't invulnerable. He managed. Shadow form, greatsword. He summoned the massive greatsword and thought, when he attacks, his defense is weakest. Cut it for me. Li Yi ordered the greatsword. And the sword severed one of the bloody silk threads in two. What? Realizing the tide was turning, Shui Bao retreated a step. You'll pay, you hurt me. Too. But Li Yi, badly wounded in the shoulder, collapsed to his knees. Damn it, did I reach my limit? He panted. Shui Bao couldn't hide its glee. Just flexing a little power, scared you. Didn't I? It then hurled hundreds of blood threads at him. If you weren't only an E rank, I'd have dealt with you already. Come on, finish me. Shui Bao taunted. Go on. Try to kill me with that look in your eyes. Every time I see a sword-wielding type like you bristling with unwillingness, it gets me excited. This guy's a real perv. To make your defiance burn even hotter, I'll tell you a secret. Then it squeezed Zhu Hatch and revealed what it knew. Zhu Hatch had guessed half right. Shui Bao said, but your parents didn't die in a mine accident. As it tightened its grip on Li Yi, the monster snarled, they died at my hands. The words hit Li Yi like shards of glass. He couldn't hold himself together. He glared at the beast, eyes blazing, and Shui Bao visibly flinched. Yes, it said, voice cold. It was like that, when I killed your mother. Your father looked at me the same way, looking at me cutting his wife to pieces with that unbowed look in his eyes. Li Yi didn't scream or curse. He only said quietly, Shui Bao. At that moment, Shui Bao's own blood threads suddenly ignited and burned away into ash. What? My threads are burning. That bastard. Li Yi exploded with power. The loss of the threads enraged him like nothing else could. He planted his feet and tried to move with steady strides, though inside he was in chaos. Thanks to Jing Tian's support, Li Yi could be ferocious like this now. He snarled, furious, "I'll kill you." The bloody fiend Shui Bao had finally pushed Li Yi to his limit. After a sudden burst, Li Yi's energy swelled and struck like a tidal wave. He was no longer the same kid. Hatred poured off him in waves. His presence was 10,000 times more oppressive than before. Shui Bao stared at the large shadow that had coalesced around Li Yi and thought to himself, so the kid can indeed trigger his dark energy with hatred. At the same time, Li Yi's system HUD flashed an alert. It detected a sudden spike in dark energy and auto-adjusted his level. Adjustment complete. New rank, Dark Empowerment upgraded from level 1 to level 2. New skill awakened, Shadow Transit. The body can enter any shadow linked to it and exit from any other linked shadow. Shui Bao noticed, with growing unease, that all the wounds on Li Yi's face had vanished. How could such severe injuries heal so quickly? Did the kid have a healing ability now? The more Shui Bao watched Li Yi grow stronger, the more he got excited. He licked his fingers and murmured, "Yes, that is it." Then, with glee, he spat out a spray of his signature blood threads and shouted in savage delight, "The prey that writhes in its death throes is the best entertainment." Li Yi, calm and suddenly radiating confidence, cocked an arrogant smile and replied, "Prey." He had just unlocked a new skill and he tested it on the spot. In the blink of an eye he vanished behind Shui Bao. In the darkness, "You are the prey." Shui Bao had not even registered how Li Yi had moved behind him. He grimaced, baffled why did this kid's power surge so fast, but forced himself to keep up the contemptuous attitude. He moved to shove Li Yi back with a heavy push, creating distance, and shouted, "Too bad, still not enough to kill me." Once Li Yi had the range he wanted, he struck. With a single motion the darkness peeled away from him and became dozens of razor-sharp blades that shot straight toward Shui Bao. Try this on for size. Shadow Morph Flying Blade Volley. Those initial blades were just the opening move. Shui Bao easily swept several of them aside with a few gestures, sneering that the trick was useless against him. From the scattered blades floating in midair, Li Yi suddenly shadow transited to appear in front of Shui Bao and snatched one of the hovering throwing knives. Oh yeah, Li Yi used shadow transit on the weapon itself, Blade Thunderstep, and teleported the knife in an instant before slamming it down with terrifying force. How about this? But things did not go exactly to plan. Shui Bao blocked the follow-up strike without even touching it, smirking. "Useless, your toys can't break my defense." Li Yi surprised him again. In a blink he melted back into the shadows and vanished from Shui Bao's sight. In the next instant he reappeared over Shui Bao's head. "Who said I wanted to break your defense?" Li Yi snarled, eyes burning with hatred. "You can't both attack and defend at the same time." He meant it. Shui Bao's method of controlling the blood threads could not match Li Yi's reaction speed, and that mismatch was his weakness. In a flash Li Yi executed a 4-phase onslaught. Dozens of slashing cuts raked across Shui Bao's body. The enemy who had seemed so confident was suddenly in agony. His mouth gaped and he cried out in a mix of rage and disbelief, but he could not recover. When the dust settled, Shui Bao sank to the ground, his body lacerated all over. He still wore a look of outrage as he managed through gritted teeth, How could I lose to a minor?" Li Yi, expression unreadable, leveled his blade at Shui Bao and asked coldly, "Tell me what really happened in that mining accident back then." Even dying, Shui Bao kept his arrogance. He spat curses at Li Yi and shouted vile insults. Li Yi did not flinch. He drove his blade in a single, decisive arc. Shui Bao's arm came away from him as well. He screamed in pain, "My arm!" The detached limb hit the ground, and he had no strength left to fight back. He could only crouch, head bowed, howling in agony. Li Yi's face darkened with growing disgust. He leaned in close and hissed, "My patience has limits." Seeing that Li Yi was truly ready to send him to his ancestors, Shui Bao finally cringed and, through clenched teeth, began to confess what happened that year. "You think telling you will change anything? It was all Kui Shihao." At the name, Li Yi's eyes flashed with murderous hatred. Shui Bao, spotting a lifeline, hurried to push forward his excuse and taunt at the same time. "What, scared now because he is from the Ying Corporation, afraid to do anything? Huh." He would assumed everything would be smoothed over, so he tried to swagger back at Li Yi. You would better let me go. He did not finish the sentence. Li Yi's blade slid sweet and clean across his throat. The body split apart. With the nuisance dealt with, Li Yi already had his next objective in mind. Standing over the corpse, he said coldly, "You killed my parents. Do not expect me to spare anyone." Time passed. Night fell and rain began to smear the Ing Corporation headquarters. Li Yi had already positioned himself to watch his target, Kui Shihao. He observed as Kui and his escorts moved toward a waiting car. This man plain, unmistakable was Li Yi's mark. Qin Tian the dark entity voiced concern at Li Yi's haste. Even though Li Yi had advanced to Class C, Qin Tian warned him not to tempt death. Li Yi, eyes glued to the vehicle, replied, "I know Ning Donghao, the Ing Corporation founder and a Class A evolver, is also in the car. I have locked the real target. Do not worry, I won't recklessly act on Kui Shihao here." He was not just out for blood in the moment. Shui Bao's words could not be trusted as the whole truth. He said aloud as he tailed the vehicle, "I need to investigate thoroughly to see whether Kui Shihao acted alone, or if the whole Ing Corporation is implicated." After following the convoy for a while, the car stopped at a large factory. From his vantage point, Li Yi concluded if Ning Donghao is not involved, then even a Class A won't matter. Blood debt must be repaid with blood. Li Yi now stood as a Class C evolver with these talents: Dark Knowledge, Shadow Morph, Supreme Shadow Clone, and Dark Empowerment Level 2. Using Shadow Transit, Li Yi tailed them all the way in. He found a hidden spot and quietly watched every gesture. Inside, the Heibao Bang's storage facility hummed at night. Why was Kui Shihao here? Inside the compound, the gang leader was giving orders. Careful, all this is experimental equipment. Kui Shihao stood behind him wearing a cloth over his nose, eyes curious. Is that old miner, has he croaked yet? The gang chief asked, tone serious. Shui Bao had vanished. The rift fragment Shui Bao used to slip inside had disappeared, so they could not even confirm if he was dead or alive. Kui Shihao was puzzled. What had happened? Shui Bao was supposed to be a C rank, why did he vanish? The chief could only guess. Maybe Shui Bao underestimated the opposition. Among the dead this time were 4 C rank evolvers. That was alarming. Kui Shihao glanced at the stacked equipment and ordered, "Move these devices in quickly. Do not leave them out where they can cause trouble. This is the critical stage of the experiment, no mistakes allowed." Hearing that, the gang chief immediately started talking business. What about the profit split? Is the money ready? Do not worry about the cash. They had no idea Li Yi had been listening to every word, and his anger only grew. So it really was Kui Shihao behind it. At that, the gang chief sensed a killing intent from behind and flung a bit of his power at a wooden crate. "Who is there?" he barked. But Li Yi had already moved a step ahead and slipped away, leaving them puzzled. "What is that?" the chief asked, staring into the dark, wondering if it was only his imagination. He would definitely felt a burst of hostility a moment ago, almost got discovered. Li Yi melted into the shadows beside a different crate. He assessed himself, Class C strength still was not enough to brute force these people. The next morning, Li Yi went to the Tan family's compound, the Longmen Sanjia headquarters, where Tan Xiao, the family's young master, was the host. Qin Tian, the dark entity, poked at him, curious and worried. "Hey, are not you planning to take any missions this morning? Why come here?" Li Yi whispered his plan. He would come to pick up the 3rd shard and, while he was at it, check how much his weapon might fetch. At the reception desk, a staffer greeted him cheerfully. "May I help you?" Li Yi said. "I am looking for Tan Xian." The receptionist smiled and asked, "Did you make an appointment?" If not. At that moment, a flashy couple nearby noticed him and the woman pointed, openly scornful. "Just a poor miner, he actually dared to come here, and he is calling out the great Miss Tan by name," the woman jeered. Li Yi recognized her, to Ting, clinging to her bow and playing the spoiled socialite. "Look at him, the smell of the mine clings to him," she sniffed. The man with her Tan Xiao's circle was eager to please. He immediately gestured to have Li Yi thrown out. "Why do not you toss him out?" someone ordered, and a guard moved to follow orders. Li Yi, annoyed, shot back calmly, "Is this how Longmen Sanjia treats guests?" They did not hesitate to insult him further. "Guests? A poor miner like you is not even fit to be the family dog of the Tan clan," the woman spat. Hearing those words like a slap in the face, Li Yi felt rage well up, but he kept his expression controlled. Are the Tan family really all this arrogant, he thought. He turned to leave. Fine, I will take my leave. But Tan Xiao's pride would not allow it. Do not you dare walk away, teach him a lesson, Tan Xiao barked. People surged forward. Li Yi moved fast. He activated Shadow Guard to teleport between brief defensive positions. Then punched one guy after another, then grabbed Tan Xiao and casually lifted him up. The woman's bravado evaporated. She would not step forward now. Let go of Tan Xiao, or the Tan family won't let you off, someone warned. Li Yi, furious and carefree, tossed Tan Xiao toward the woman. The whole group sprawled on their faces. Satisfied, Li Yi turned to go. Today, Miss Tan's face would be spared, but Tan Xiao was not going to let it go. He lunged at Li Yi full force, shouting, "You who do you think you are? I will kill you," but Li Yi would not let it stand. Raging with blind fury, Tan Xiao tried to bury Li Yi alive. Before he could reach him, a man stepped between them and stopped the attack. Beside him stood a white-haired girl glaring icily at the crowd behind Li Yi. "You are bold to cause trouble in the Tan Corporation," she snapped. When Tan Xiao saw his little sister appear, he immediately straightened up and ran over, tail tucked between his legs. "You are dead, punk. You dared to stir up trouble in the Tan Corporation. My sister will never let you go." The younger sister, Tan Xian, looked annoyed. "Throw him out," she said coolly. But Tan Xiao still could not keep his mouth shut, ranting on and on. "You are letting him off too easy. You should at least break his arms and legs before he could finish." A hand suddenly grabbed his collar from behind and lifted him clean off the ground. Tan Xiao blinked in confusion. "Xian, what are you doing? I am your cousin." The woman beside him, Ting, ran forward, speaking quickly in a pitiful tone. Miss Tan, that lowly miner over there, he dared to call you by name. Young Master Tan only wanted to stand up for you. That is all." Tan Xian's eyes flashed with irritation as she glared at her. "He is my friend. What is wrong with calling me by name?" She then ordered her subordinates, "Throw them out. All of them. Those arrogant guards and that useless receptionist too. None of them are to be rehired ever again." The staff obeyed immediately, dragging the struggling group away like sacks of grain. Even Ting was carried off, crying and begging. "Miss Tan, I am young Master Tan's girlfriend, please. For his sake, please speak for me. I gave him my body." Tan Xian shot her brother a death glare and snapped, "Tan Xiao, you might as well change your name to Tan Beast. If you ever dare to use the Tan name to trick and humiliate others again, I will make sure you regret it." Tan Xiao sat down meekly, all fire gone. "Yes, madam." Then Tan Xian turned back toward Li Yi, her demeanor instantly softening. "I did not expect you to come. Please, come in and sit." As they walked, she added apologetically, "Sorry about that, some idiot relative of mine embarrassed me in front of you." Li Yi replied calmly, "It is fine." He was not the type to let a few loudmouths bother him. Every family had its share of troublesome kin. Once they reached the office, Tan Xian gestured to a seat. "Over here." But before she could continue, a staff member came rushing in. "Miss Tan, the chairman requests your presence immediately." Tan Xian frowned but nodded. "I am sorry. Could you wait here a bit? I will be right back." "Do not worry," Li Yi said. "Go handle your business." She left, and Li Yi was alone in the room. A few minutes later, he noticed something strange. Every door and window around him had been sealed shut. No exits. Then a man appeared, a refined-looking gentleman whose very presence radiated a suffocating, oppressive aura. His voice boomed across the room. "Boy, who the hell are you?" The system instantly began analyzing him. Mid-tier shadow contract. Scanning. Human. Class A. Skill detected. Eye of Intimidation instills fear in targets and restricts movement. Wrath of Thunder boosts lightning attributes and enhances all physical stats. Li Yi narrowed his eyes. A Class A. And a dual skill user at that. Seeing the man's stats, he could not help but feel a grudging respect. "Senior, there must be some misunderstanding. I am just a minor." Still, inwardly he scoffed. "A psychic intimidation type. Disgusting ability. My shadow reinforcement is not even affected." The man studied him closely, intrigued. "So, my eye of intimidation does not work on him." Then he spoke with interest. "A minor, hardly. You are not that simple." In an instant, he unleashed a terrifying surge of power that thundered through the room. He struck with full force, yet Li Yi did not even flinch. What, you withstood that? The man's eyes widened. At least Class B strength. And you still claim you are just a minor? You dare lie to my face? His anger rose. You falsified your identity to get close to Xian. What is your motive? Speak honestly, or I won't be gentle. Just then, Tan Xian stormed into the room and grabbed the man's ear, scolding him sharply. Father, you called me here just to interrogate my friend. Are you really that bored? The old man hunched over and whispered to his daughter, lower your voice, there is an outsider here. Keep your father's dignity, will you? His words only made Tuo Yin even more irritated. A man your age with no sense of decency still talking about dignity. Get out, stop bothering my friend, she shouted. Furious, Tuo Shaosheng stormed toward the door with heavy steps. From behind, Li Yi overheard everything loud and clear and could not help but chuckle under his breath. Tuo Shaosheng, the head of Longmen's 3 districts, was quite the character. After dragging her father out, Tuo Yin turned to Li Yi, bowed slightly, and apologized. I am sorry. My father's always like that. He thinks everyone who approaches me has ulterior motives. Li Yi gave a wry smile. Well, without ulterior motives, it would be hard to understand him, would not it? He is just worried someone might take advantage of you. She tilted her head curiously. You seem to understand my father quite well. Li Yi scratched his head awkwardly, muttering, not wanting to understand him does not mean I can avoid it. Just when they thought Tuo Shaosheng had left, they suddenly noticed his silhouette clinging to the glass wall like a gecko, refusing to budge. That brat better not have any designs on my daughter. I had her late in life, I won't let her get tricked by anyone. He is not blonde now, but who knows if he will dye it later, my little princess, whom I have raised for 16 years, must never suffer even a scratch. If things go wrong, I will deal with it myself. Tuo Yin rolled her eyes in exasperation, glaring out the window. You said all that out loud, old man. Tuo Shaosheng, get lost, now, she barked. Once her father finally and reluctantly retreated, she sighed in relief and turned back to Li Yi. There is 5 million in this card as a deposit. That greatsword has rather unique material. Our client wants it appraised before setting a final price. Li Yi accepted the black card and asked, no problem. But I actually came here for something else. Oh, she asked. What is that? Do you know where I might find something like this? Li Yi pulled out the strange shard he would acquired earlier. She examined it for a while, then replied, these unidentified dimensional fragments used to be fairly common. But in recent years someone's been buying them up in large quantities. The market's nearly dry. You might want to check the Longmen district auction, there could be some there. Li Yi nodded. Thanks. At that moment, Jing Tian's voice echoed curiously in his mind. Someone's collecting fragments, could it be connected to them? Meanwhile, at the Tuo family estate, the steward stood stiffly, giving his report. Li Yi, age 20. Until recently, he was an ordinary man. Only a few days ago was he confirmed as an E-rank ascendant, but no unique energy signatures have been detected, so he is still considered a minor. Tuo Shaosheng skimmed the dossier, suspicion clouding his face. From E-rank to C-rank in just a few days, either he is hiding his strength, or something strange is going on. Before he could dig deeper, his phone rang. Old Huo, what has got you calling me today? He asked casually. The voice on the other end got straight to the point. Old man Tuo, that greatsword your daughter sent, do you still have it? Tuo Shaosheng frowned. Not sure. Why? The tone on the other end suddenly turned urgent. Ask her right now, however many there are, we will take them all. That made Tuo Shaosheng chuckle nervously. Old fox, you sound awfully interested. Do not tell me that sword's made of some special material. Old Huo's voice dropped low. Can't say much, but the material could enhance the overall combat capabilities of our military. Tuo Shaosheng froze for a moment, thinking hard. His strength and background are both suspicious. Even the weapon he carries is not ordinary. This Li Yi kid is really something I can't see through. Meanwhile, on Li Yi's side, he was casually glancing around the room, scanning the various goods and artifacts. Maybe there really is a fragment here somewhere. But to his surprise, as he wandered through the aisles, he suddenly ran into someone he had not expected to see again, his old flame from years past, Chu Ding, the same young man he would poison several chapters ago. The woman pressed herself against him. her voice syrupy and sweet. "Brother Chu, I swear there is nothing between me and that brat Tuo Dang. He just kept pestering me. I even quit my job at the Tuo family to get away from him." Chu Ding smirked arrogantly. "Quit then. I will take care of you from now on." Overjoyed, she kissed him on the cheek, giggling. "You are still the only one who treats me right, Brother Chu." It was then that Chu Ding finally noticed Li Yi's presence. His expression soured, and he cursed under his breath. "That worthless miner again. Do not tell me Lord Blood Leopard still has not taken care of him." Then, forcing a mocking grin, he raised his voice. "Hey, I am talking to you. How the hell did a filthy miner like you sneak in here?" Li Yi's lips curved into a faint smirk. "Your memory must be terrible," he said coldly. "Already forgotten how it felt when I slapped you across the face a few days ago." As he spoke, he released a suffocating killing intent that made Chu Ding's knees weaken. "Stay back, you," he stammered. Just then, a towering figure approached from behind Chu Ding. The man shoved his hands into his pockets and eyed Li Yi with open disdain. Chu Ding's face lit up with relief. "Bot Leopard." The man Black Leopard, one of the notorious enforcers of the Black Leopard gang, sauntered closer, laid a heavy hand on Li Yi's shoulder, and sneered. "You hit my man, kid. That is the same as hitting me. Now, be smart and kneel to apologize." With that, Black Leopard pushed down hard, his palm pressing on Li Yi's shoulder like a slab of iron, trying to force him to his knees. But Li Yi did not yield. His feet dug into the marble floor, cracks spider webbing beneath him, yet he remained upright. Black Leopard's eyes narrowed, a flicker of surprise breaking through his arrogance. "Not bad. Did not think you would have bones that hard." Chu Ding could not help but jeer from the side. "You stupid miner, do you even know who you are dealing with? Daring to offend Brother Leopard, you must have a death wish." Suddenly, the atmosphere changed as a sharp, commanding voice rang out. "Black Leopard." Everyone turned. Tuo Yin was walking in their direction, her crimson silk dress glimmering under the light, her face composed but cold. "This is Longmen's 3 streets," she said icily. "If you are here to spend money, we welcome you. But if you are here to make trouble, we will gladly entertain that too." Her tone left no room for negotiation. Black Leopard's grin faded. "Fine. I will let it go today for your sake, Miss Tuo." He shot Li Yi a final glare, then gestured to his men. "Let us go. We have got an auction to attend." Once their figures disappeared down the corridor, Tuo Yin hurried to Li Yi's side. "Li Yi, are you all right?" "I am fine," he said calmly. Meanwhile, Black Leopard could not shake off his unease as they left. "Who the hell is that kid? What is his background? Why did you even provoke him?" he asked. Chu Ding swallowed nervously. "He is the one who took that prized sword before I could offer it to you, and he said he would wipe out the Black Leopard gang." "What?" Black Leopard roared, grabbing Chu Ding by the collar. "Are you sure?" The woman beside them, pale with fear, quickly nodded. "Yes, it is him, I can vouch for it." At that moment, Shi Hao, another gang figure, approached. "Black Leopard, what is going on?" Black Leopard released Chu Ding and turned to glare in the direction Li Yi had gone. "That kid. He is one of the targets Blood Leopard was hunting before. But he is still alive. Do not tell me Blood Leopard was killed by him." Chu Ding interrupted frantically. "Impossible. He is just an E-rank weakling. There is no way he could have taken down Second Master Yang." Hearing the familiar name that had once brought ruin to his life, Li Yi's expression turned dark. The air around him thickened with killing intent so heavy that even from afar, it made Shi Hao's spine tingle. "So it is you," he thought coldly. "The same scum who tormented my family back then. And now you are standing in front of me again. Tied to Tuo Yin of all people." However, Li Yi acted as if he didn't know anything. He turned toward Qin Xian, who was walking beside him, and asked casually, "Why did you come back?" Her expression brightened immediately. "Because my father suddenly said he wanted to meet you." That made Li Yi tense up a little. "He's not planning to attack me again, is he?" Qin Xian couldn't help laughing. "Relax. As long as I'm here, he wouldn't dare." At that moment, the one who greeted them first was Shi Hao. The man glared at Li Yi with a look of feigned surprise. "Well, I didn't expect to meet my dear nephew here." But Li Yi only smiled faintly. "I'm just a nobody forced into the dirt to pay off debts." How could I dare get involved with someone of your stature? A high-ranking official? Shi Hao put on a sympathetic expression, pretending to have no part in what happened. The matter with your parents was decided by the upper council. I wanted to help you. Truly. But my position was too low to have any say. Li Yi let out a quiet, disdainful laugh. So you're denying all responsibility now? You and I both know exactly how it went down. His expression hardened as he continued walking. Uncle, he asked me to pass on a message. Paper can't wrap fire. You do enough wicked things, and karma will find you sooner or later. Hearing that, Bao Zhu couldn't hold back his anger and barked. This brat needs to be taught a lesson. But Shi Hao quickly stopped him, whispering, not here. This is Tan Shaosheng's territory. We can't make a move right now. Still, in his mind, Shi Hao had already written out the script. That kid knows too much. Once we're out of here, have him erased. Bao Zhu smirked. Got it, I'll handle it. A while later, Qin Xiyan led Li Yi into the parlor. Father, I brought Li Yi. Right then, the sound of an auctioneer echoed through the hall. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's auction is officially underway. Seeing this, Qin Xiyan told Li Yi. The auction started. Go ahead and talk to my father first. If anything comes up that might interest you, I'll let you know. Thanks, Li Yi replied, before stepping forward to address Tan Shaosheng directly. I'm not sure what you wanted to see me about. Sir. Tan Shaosheng got straight to the point. I'll be blunt. About the weapon you had Qin Xiyan sell last time. Do you still have more? Li Yi immediately understood. So he's after Qin Tian's weapon. Makes sense. But I can't show too many at once. That'd be dangerous and might tank the price. He put on a calm face and said, I just happened to come across them by chance. I only have 2 left now. Tan Shaosheng nodded thoughtfully, then made his offer. All right, including the previous one, I'll pay you another 40 million, 45 million total. How about it? Li Yi leisurely took a sip of tea before answering. 45 million for 3 weapons, 15 each. Not bad, but you should know better than anyone that weapons like these are our lifelines. Tan Shaosheng's tone turned sharp. So what exactly are you saying? Li Yi didn't hesitate. 25 million per weapon. The old man froze for a moment, his face stiffening before he slammed the table. You little brat, you dare name your own price? Just as the tension peaked, Qin Xiyan returned to the room. Li Yi, the item you were interested in just went up for auction. Seeing his daughter, Tan Shaosheng could only swallow his anger. Qin Xiyan's tone was deliberate, almost commanding. Father. Fine, Tan Shaosheng snapped. 70 million, I'll transfer the rest to you right now. With that, the deal was sealed, and Qin Xiyan quickly led Li Yi out to the auction floor. That's probably the one you're looking for. Meanwhile, Tan Shaosheng could only grit his teeth. Furious but helpless. That damned kid. On stage, the auctioneer's voice rang out clearly. Lot number 14, opening bid at 6.5 million. Lot number 17, 10 million. Lot number 6, 15 million. Li Yi's gaze fixed on a fragment displayed under the lights. That's it, the shard. He clenched his fist slightly. I've got 70 million now. That should be enough to win it. He raised his paddle. 30 million. The host called out. Bidder number 9, 30 million. Any higher offers? At the same time, Shi Hao and Bao Zhu, who had been watching from the side, both recognized him. That brat again? Why is he bidding on that item? The auctioneer continued. 30 million. Going once, 30 million. Going twice. Then Shi Hao abruptly raised his number and shouted. 50 million. Let's see how much money that brat really has. Bidder number 2, 50 million. Li Yi didn't hesitate and raised his bid again. 60 million. The announcement made even Tan Shaosheng chuckle behind him. Kid, that thing's not worth that kind of money. I'd advise you to stop shouting before you burn through all the cash you just got. Even Tan Xiyan tried to dissuade him. He's clearly baiting you. That fragment's ceiling price used to be 10 million at most. But Li Yi ignored them, casting a sidelong glance toward Kui Shihao. If you want it so badly, then I'll make damn sure you won't get it that easily. He then turned to Tan Shaosheng with a smirk. Tell me, Chairman Tan, between the Tan Corporation and the Ing Group, who's got deeper pockets? Shaosheng laughed aloud. Obviously the Tan Corporation, but why should I help you? Meanwhile, The auctioneer's voice echoed again. 70 million. Bidder number 2 offers 70 million. Li Yi decided to push his luck. Because I have something like this. He casually summoned 2 of his swords. Xiaosheng eyed them calmly, unimpressed. I bought those at the previous rate already. But with your current funds, you can't possibly outbid the others. Li Yi took a step closer. His voice low but steady. You can relax. Chairman Tan, I wouldn't talk big if I couldn't back it up. Xiaosheng couldn't help but frown. Was the kid really hiding that much money? 70 million. Going once. The auctioneer's hammer hovered. Tan Xiyin quickly tugged at her father's ear. Dad, stop being so stingy. If Li Yi can't pay up, I'll cover it, okay? Xiaosheng was thrown off balance by her sudden outburst. Fine, fine. As the auctioneer called, 70 million. Going twice. Xiyin grabbed Li Yi's wrist and pulled him toward the stage. Li Yi, hurry up, or that bastard will snatch it away. Li Yi blinked in disbelief. Rich people in this world. 100 million's just pocket change to them. Huh? Then he raised his paddle. 100 million. Bidder number 9 bids 100 million. On the other side, Kui Shihao's eyes narrowed. Seeing Li Yi fight tooth and nail for that fragment made him think. This item might actually prove useful for the corporation's secret operations. I must have it. He slammed down a new bid. 200 million. And so the numbers spiraled upward. 300 million. 400. 500. Are they insane? Someone whispered from the crowd. They're bidding over a worthless scrap. Maybe the fragment's not what matters. Another murmured. Looks more like 2 tycoons butting heads. Hu Bao, standing beside Kui Shihao, growled under his breath. Boss Kui, that kid's obviously picking a fight with us. Shihao sneered. He's still not qualified. Then, without warning, he raised his voice and threw down the gauntlet. 1 billion yuan. Gasps rippled through the hall. 1 billion. Bidder number 2 offers 1 billion. Tan Xiyin frowned. Li Yi, that jerk's clearly taunting us. But Li Yi only stared silently at Kui Shihao. His expression thoughtful. No, Shihao wouldn't recklessly waste that much money unless he had a reason. Tan Xiaosheng coughed a few times behind them. Half warning, half mocking. Kid, think carefully. 2 billion's no joke. Can you even provide enough weapons to cover that? Xiyin snapped at her father. I already said if he can't, I'll pay for it. Stop ruining the mood. Then she turned to Li Yi, urging, come on, shout your price already. Don't let that bastard win. Resigned, Li Yi decided there was no turning back. 2 billion. The entire room froze. 2 billion. Bidder number 9 bids 2 billion. Kui Shihao's legs twitched under the table. Where the hell did this kid get that much money? His jaw tightened, but even he had to concede defeat. Damn brat, he muttered under his breath. It must be Tan Xiaosheng backing him. The auctioneer brought the gavel down hard. Sold. 2 billion. Final call. Congratulations to bidder number 9 for acquiring the unidentified fragment. Tan Xiyin beamed, grabbing Li Yi's arm and shaking it excitedly. That was amazing. We did it. Her enthusiasm made him awkward. You really didn't have to be that happy. Of course I did, she said with a grin. Nothing's better than watching a scumbag get slapped in the face. Tan Xiaosheng, however, wasn't smiling. You sure yelled loud. Boy, 2 billion, minus your previous purchase, you'll owe me 70 more weapons. Can you really deliver that many? Li Yi sipped his tea calmly. Unbothered. When something's rare, it's valuable. When it becomes common, its worth naturally drops. You'll get what you paid for. He snapped his fingers, and every cheap sword he owned flickered into view before him. There were well over 100 of them, more than enough to cover the roughly 2 billion price tag, which made the old man openly admire him. You're refreshingly blunt, he thought. This kid's temperament and ability are solid. He could be useful. Tan Xiyin, embarrassed and flustered, leaned in and said to Li Yi, next time something interesting comes up, remember to call me, okay? Her father immediately tried to take back his earlier words. Never mind. Just don't make this kid cause trouble before he's civilized. Bring Xiyin home afterward. Then she told Li Yi, just collect whatever you want at the auction. I'll give you a wink as I leave. Li Yi paid her no mind and replied politely to the chairman. Thank you, Chairman Tan. Then Tan Xiaosheng added a parting word of advice. One thing. You've got some methods I don't understand. But in-group isn't simple. You can't necessarily move the needle on them all by yourself. Sometimes it helps to cooperate with allies who share your goals. If you're interested, contact me. At the same time, over by Kui Shihao, the gang boss finished a phone call. Got it, he said, and then reported up the line. Tan Xiaosheng and his son have left. Was the kid Li Yi the one who took the fragment? Kui Shihao's reply was curt. Wait until the boy is out of Longmen Sanji's sphere of influence. Then act, don't let anything go wrong. The gang boss chuckled with relish. Relax, this time I'll have Chu Ding lead 3 C-rank heavies, absolute safety guaranteed. Scene cuts to a pitch-black night. Li Yi walks down an old road. It looks like Tan Xiaosheng has been digging up quite a bit of intel on me. That last line of his was clearly a recruitment pitch. If I am not tied down to him, having an ally would not be a bad thing. Qin Thien muttered back, he is only a rank. As long as you have enough fragments, I guarantee you can easily become S rank. Then it snapped. Irritated, what is with that look, you do not believe me. I believe you, Li Yi answered. I am just looking for the place to start training. A chorus of commentators started flaming Qin Thien anyway. Yeah right, you think S rank is something you can just buy. There are only 9 S ranks in the world, easily become S, my ass. Prove it. Never mind stoking it. Suddenly an explosion grabs Li Yi's attention. His rented apartment building, some jerk has set his tiny room on fire. People inside scream and scatter. Run, honey, where are you? Mom, Dad. His phone rings at the same time. Li Yi, I just got news Shui Bao is moving against you, Tan Xian says, panicked. Li Yi slowly realizes she was probably right. Get out of there now, I will send people. But Li Yi stands rock solid. Do not worry. I can handle it. Chu Ding and his gang swagger forward. Finally you show up. Kneel and beg me, maybe I will take pity and spare your miserable life, he taunts, flipping his hair. You E-rank trash, how do you expect to face 3 C-rank guys like us? They close in on him. Li Yi simply states one sentence, then why has not Shui Bao killed me yet? His calm rattles them. Does he really have a hidden power? Chu Ding tries to reassure his crew. Do not be fooled, he is just a minor. He has no combat ability. One eager thug volunteers and charges. But as he swings down, Li Yi vanishes and reappears behind him, delivering a clean horizontal cut that practically shears his hair. The crowd goes pale. When did he get here? Even the loud-mouthed Chu Ding is sweating now. 2 of them rush in at once. Both of them get permanent skins to remember the moment. Li Yi severs both their arms clean off and then steps up to pinch Chu Ding by the shoulder. You are supposed to be gangsters, why are you scared of a minor like me? Li Yi says with a chuckle. Playing with fire, huh? Chu Ding is left sobbing but not with tears of victory. Li Yi releases his grip but not gently. He grabs Chu Ding by the collar and hurls him back into the growing blaze. Go play all you want. Chairman and bot will make sure you regret this, Li Yi says, leaving Chu Ding's face mangled and terrified. Do not worry, I will send them down there to find you soon. At that moment Tan Xian arrives, calling out, Li Yi, are you okay? Others shout. He gives a cold look and answers, I am fine. Just a few lackeys. Tan Xian presses, what will you do next? Li Yi answers nonchalantly, if they strike, we hit back. Hearing that, she does not hesitate, she jumps into the fight by his side. He is genuinely puzzled. Why would you want to help me? Tu Yin awkwardly turned her face away. Well, I have had enough of those Black Panther bastards for a long time. And now they dare to target a friend of Tan Tu Yin, her cheeks flushed. You are one of my few friends, you know. Li Yi, however, did not catch her tone. A friend, huh, fine. He smiled faintly. Then let us take care of the Black Panther gang first. The scene shifted. Tu Yin led him to a luxurious suite. You can stay here for now until you find a new place. No one usually lives here, so pick any room you like. Li Yi looked around, then decided, I will stay in this one. But she immediately stopped him from that room in particular, leaving him confused. Her face turned red. Not that one. She mumbled. Li Yi's sharp eyes, however, had already caught sight of a certain door, the one leading to a room decorated with stuffed animals and pastel curtains. Clearly a girl's room. Pretty feminine style, he remarked with a hint of a grin. But it suits you. That comment made Tu Yin freeze. I thought he would call it childish. After all, the heiress of the Tan Corporation liking such childish things. Li Yi shrugged lightly. Is not it normal for girls to like things like this, he said, his voice softer than usual, almost sweet. Actually, you look a lot cuter like this than when you were being all serious outside. See, cute. No one had ever called her that before. Her heart started pounding uncontrollably. Then, out of nowhere, her stomach growled loudly. Li Yi burst out laughing. She pouted and covered her embarrassment. You are still laughing. If I were not worried about you getting into trouble, I would not have skipped dinner like this. Without a word, Li Yi reached into his inventory and pulled out some rations. Here, eat these. They're just for emergencies, but better than starving. Tu Yin took them, then circled him curiously. Where did you even get these from? I was wondering the same thing when I saw that weapon at the auction. Where did you find it? Li Yi dodged the question. Just something I learned through magic, he said vaguely. But her curiosity only deepened. Then can you teach me? Before he could reply, the aura of a stranger outside made him tense up. He leaned toward her and whispered, Tan Tu Yin, maybe you should go home for now. What is wrong? She asked, and that is when Li Yi caught sight of a familiar figure hiding in the bushes. Tan Xiaosheng, wiping his sweaty hands and glaring daggers. What the hell did this brat feed my daughter? How long have they even known each other? He actually brought her here to a place she won't even let me enter. It has been ages since I have seen her talk so happily. A boy and a girl, alone at night? Absolutely not. You come any closer, brat, and I will show you exactly what I will do to you, like this and this. Li Yi gave a sideways glance toward the window and whispered dryly, if you do not go back now, your dad might actually eat me alive. Tu Yin's face went scarlet. Tan Xiaosheng, she yelled furiously out the window. A few minutes later, she finally left with her father, still fuming. Li Yi sighed in relief, pulling the curtains shut. The house was located at Longmen Street No. 3, quiet, isolated, and unlikely to be disturbed. He sat down, laying out the items on the table, one core from the magma bowl, another from the blood panther, and one from the auction hall. Let us begin, he told Qin Thien. I have always been curious, the spirit murmured. What is the connection between these fragments and the dimensional rift that appears out of thin air? Then it began to explain. To be precise, the 3 fragments before you are merely a small part of the gate of the nether realm. Every entrance to another dimensional world that exists within your world is connected to the fragments of that gate. After fiddling with the formation for a moment, Qin Thien opened a rift. Let us go, it said before stepping through first. Li Yi, however, still had a question. Since you seem to know so much, can you explain what exactly that other dimensional realm is? A short while later, they emerged on the other side. Li Yi looked around curiously. Why are there so many mutants, insectoids, and orcs in here? Qin Thien's voice echoed faintly in the vast space. They are all prisoners. What you call alternate dimensions or otherworldly realms are, in truth, vast purgatories existing in parallel dimensions. As the sandstorm began to rise, Li Yi shielded his eyes. Purgatories for prisoners, huh, then. To answer the rest of your questions, Qin Thien interrupted, just complete every trial within this place. Once you do, you will naturally understand everything. When they finally reached their destination, Li Yi stood before a towering black monolith and blinked in confusion. This is the Tower of Qin Thien, the spirit declared proudly. My most satisfying masterpiece and your proving ground. Meanwhile, the voices of the unseen commentators reappeared with their usual snark. What kind of taste is this supposed to be? No wonder your aesthetic sense is so warped. What are those huge columns even for? Are they meant to keep the tower from blowing away? Looks like it is made from the same material as those weapons. Huh, think Tan Xiaosheng would buy it. It would probably fetch a fortune. Qin Thien's soul visibly trembled with irritation. Idiots. Even if I rage myself into oblivion, no one cares. Once inside, Li Yi asked, so what exactly is the trial? The Tower of Qin Thien has 6 floors, Qin Thien explained. With your current strength, defeating the Dark Wyvern on the first floor would already be commendable. Li Yi turned toward the large gate at the end of the hall. Dark Wyvern. You mean that thing? Why do not I feel any pressure from it? And then the reason became clear. The so-called Dark Wyvern had a tiny body, a wagging tail, and short stubby legs that looked utterly harmless. Its big glossy eyes shimmered as if they could tear up at any moment. Standing next to Li Yi, it barely reached his knees. "This," he muttered. "That is supposed to be the Dark Wyvern, is not it supposed to guard some ancient palace or something?" An amused grin crossed his face. "If I hit it, would that count as bullying the weak?" Qin Thien's tone turned oddly grave. "Laugh while you still can. Let us see if you are still smiling later." But Li Yi ignored the warning, crouching down as he reached out a hand. "Come here, little guy." Before he could finish, the creature's entire body flared with blinding light. Its cute eyes sharpened into those of a killer. In the next instant, it unleashed an illusory dragon that roared toward the heavens, forcing Li Yi to leap back in shock. The information panel of the creature suddenly appeared before Li Yi's eyes. Dark Wyvern Rank C. Dark Reinforcement Type. After reinforcement, physical form, speed, and power increase by 600%. Weak points have been marked. Li Yi's brows furrowed. A 600% boost, that is 3 times the amplification of my own dark enhancement. Do not tell me mine's a knockoff. Qin Thien chuckled smugly. That is because your physique is not on par with my pet's. Li Yi almost tripped over himself. You have got to be kidding me. Even my body loses to a pet's. Before he could complain further, the dark wyvern suddenly lunged, forcing Li Yi to confront it head-on. He smirked. Do not you know, the bigger your body, the bigger your blind spots. With that, he hurled several dark throwing knives toward it. But the blades bounced off harmlessly, not even scratching its scales. Li Yi's smirk vanished. What the hell, how can its dark reinforcement have such high defense? Qin Thien's voice echoed mockingly. Still holding back, with your current strength, your attacks are little more than a back scratch to it. Li Yi activated his system's weak point indicator and struck at every vulnerable spot he could find, but no matter how many times he hit, the wyvern remained completely unfazed. Qin Thien, watching from the side, nodded to himself. He has mastered dark reinforcement and shadow step quite well. Time to increase the difficulty. Then he called out in a deceptively gentle tone, You hungry, little one? The wyvern's slit pupils dilated with interest. Hey, Qin Thien whispered slyly, that human tastes good. The creature's maw split open, revealing rows of razor-sharp fangs dripping with saliva. It lunged at Li Yi, forcing him to dodge. Hey, did you even vaccinate your pet? It looks rabid, Li Yi shouted while rolling to the side. Qin Thien laughed. You have drained a good bit of its energy. I would wager it now sees you as the perfect high-calorie snack. The wyvern kept biting, refusing to fight fair. Li Yi scowled. No martial ethics at all, just biting like a street mutt. Then an idea sparked in his mind. If you are that hungry, try this on for size, watch my ultimate technique. He reached into his storage bag and tossed out a dozen roasted chicken legs. The wyvern's attention instantly shifted to the food, its nostrils flaring as it drooled uncontrollably. Li Yi grinned. Yeah, that is it. Good stuff, right? As the creature devoured the bait, he quickly threw a binding rope around it, restraining it with a sharp pull. System notification. Trial of the first floor completed. Authority to utilize the dark wyvern granted. The wyvern, still chewing a drumstick, looked too ridiculous for words. Qin Thien could only sigh and shake his head. This guy. What a disgraceful win. A new message appeared before Li Yi. Gate fragment acquired. Connection link and activation rights unlocked. Li Yi skimmed through it, puzzled. Connection link and activation rights, what do those even do? Qin Thien explained, once each fragment is infused with enough energy, it becomes a gateway linking directly to the nether realm. Li Yi's eyes lit up as understanding dawned. So as long as I am linked to a fragment, I can open a portal whenever I want. Precisely. Crouching down, Li Yi patted the wyvern's snout affectionately. Getting such a good skill on the first floor. The rewards on the next 5 must be even better. Qin Thien smirked darkly to himself. Cocky already, you cheated your way through 1 floor and think you are invincible, fine. Let us see you suffer in the second. Go on then, he said aloud. The guardian on the next floor is just the tower's steward, barely worth mentioning. In the background, the commentators popped up again, roasting him mercilessly. Is it just me, or does Qin Thien look both stupid and shady? Maybe he is some kind of shapeshifter inside that tower. Ignoring the chatter, Li Yi stepped forward with renewed determination. If a rank C beast guarded the first floor, then the second one was definitely not going to be that simple. Hearing that, Qin Thien encouraged him, if you do not believe me, just see it for yourself before you decide. Then, as if trying to mess with him, he added casually, besides, there is nothing dangerous anyway. Hearing that, Li Yi, unsuspecting as ever, agreed without a second thought. Fine by me, he said. But the moment he saw what lay ahead, Li Yi immediately changed his mind. A C-rank Thunder King Serpent, a C-rank Water Jet Tortoise, and a C-rank Lava Minotaur, he could only laugh bitterly. You are calling these things servants, standing before the massive beasts, each one bulging with grotesque muscles. Li Yi began to feel a twinge of unease. The first strike came from the Thunder King Serpent. It lunged at him, jaws wide, ready to chomp him in one bite, but Li Yi reacted quickly, leaping aside. When he turned back, disoriented, he realized the entrance behind him had already sealed shut. At the same time, a chorus of bestial voices echoed through the chamber, eliminate the intruder. Forced into a desperate scramble, Li Yi activated Shadow Shift, darting through the dim corridors as the beasts pursued. He layered dark reinforcement over his body to increase his speed, sprinting toward the gate that was rapidly closing. After a tense chase, he barely managed to slip through at the last second, slamming the gate shut behind him before the hulking C-rank monsters could tear him apart. Panting hard, Li Yi yelled, "You did that on purpose, did not you? You said the place was full of servants." Qin Thien emerged laughing. "I did not lie. They are servants, your strength just does not measure up." That sparked another argument. "Then tell me," Li Yi shot back, "what exactly does that lava minotaur do?" Qin Thien replied calmly, "He provides heating." Li Yi stared blankly. "And the Thunder King Serpent?" "Power supply." "The Water Jet Tortoise?" "Floor cleaning." "And the mutants?" "Manual labor." Li Yi was speechless. Before he could say another word, the system window appeared again. "Warning, an A-rank entity is approaching." The scene shifted. Tan Xiaochang, along with his daughter Tan Tuam, appeared. Why were they only arriving now? Taking their seats, they immediately addressed Li Yi. "I heard from Tuam," Tan Xiaochang began, "that you intend to deal with the Black Panther gang." Li Yi nodded. "That is right. They have already set their sights on me. Rather than wait for them to strike, I would rather go on the offensive." Tan Xiaochang leaned back, tone probing. "The Black Panthers have been provoking me at Longmen 3rd District, yet I have not acted. Do you know why?" Li Yi guessed, "Because you are afraid of disrupting the balance." To his surprise, Tan Xiaochang nodded. "Exactly. 3 major powers keep Haicheng in check. Wu Tianchu holds political control as the city lord. Ning Donghao and the Ying Corporation control the economy. And I, though influential in both politics and business, rank just beneath them. That is why, despite despising how the Black Panthers have cornered markets and robbed people blind over the years, as long as they do not cross the line, I can't make a move." He went on, voice grave. "If I strike first, one of two things could happen. Either Ning Donghao and Wu Tianchu unite against me, or both Ning Donghao and I suffer heavy losses, giving Wu Tianchu the chance to seize full control of Haicheng." Hearing that, Li Yi frowned slightly. "So what you mean, President Tan, is that you do not want the Tan family dragged into this?" Tan Xiaochang suddenly smiled, stepping forward to place a hand on Li Yi's shoulder. "No. What I want," he said, eyes gleaming, "is for you and Tuam to form a new faction to take down the Black Panthers." Li Yi froze, unable to hide his surprise. "President Tan intends to use others to fight for him?" Li Yi asked, then listened as Tan Xiaochang considered and praised the idea. "Smart. I will put up the money and manpower. You and Tuam go carry out the operations. That way the other sides won't dare to act recklessly. Even if you fail, I will be able to step in and protect you." Li Yi could not help but feel impressed. In just one night, Tan Xiaochang had already planned so comprehensively. It was admirable. But Xiaochang himself inwardly worried, if it were not for his daughter's insistence on joining Li Yi, he would not care to involve his family at all. He kept muttering under his breath, "How did that kid get his daughter to take whatever drug it was? I am spending money and effort here. What if she runs off with him? That'd be a huge loss. Maybe distract Tuam and then toss that brat aside." Hearing that, Li Yi dryly said, "President Tan, could you please not make your thoughts so obvious? Tuum flushed bright red and shoved her father out the door. "Dad, go out for a minute." She slammed the door, then turned back to Li Yi and asked, "So, what do you plan to do next?" Li Yi smirked. "Take the job. I will accept every mission that opens a gateway to other realms. I will run every one of those rift gates across Haicheng." Tuum nodded in understanding. "All right, I will arrange it." A curious excitement rose inside Li Yi. "Once I connect all these fragments, it will be the darkest hour for the He Bao." With Tuum's help, Li Yi needed only to snap his fingers once for more than 100 people to fall into line under his command, waiting for his orders. The moment she opened the door to show him, dozens were already queued up. She glanced at Li Yi with a relaxed smile and said, "These are the people I personally recruited. From now on, they will all take orders from you inside the Dark Guild." Li Yi blinked in surprise. "The Dark Guild?" he asked. The masked figures outside immediately stiffened and answered in unison, "Greetings, miss." "Greetings, Guildmaster." Tuum, knowing Li Yi was not exactly gifted at naming things, had already beaten him to it. She looked at him and teased, "You kept hemming and hawing about what to call it, so I named it after your skill. Do not you like it?" she added, grinning. Li Yi found himself amused and replied in kind, "It is not bad." To be safe, he casually scanned their strength with his power. A quick look made it obvious, these people were all Tier C capable fighters who would be a serious force wherever they were placed. Then a question popped into his head, why were they all wearing masks? Seeing his puzzled look, Tuum shrugged and gave a half-answer, to hide their identities, so nobody can threaten them. Then she cracked a playful smile and added, "Besides, do not you think it looks cool?" Li Yi could not help but snort. Surely not because the artist was too lazy to draw faces, he joked. With the manpower situation apparently stabilized, Tuum turned to him confidently, "So what is next?" Li Yi, already thinking ahead, answered without hesitation, "We go take jobs." Looking at the capable people gathered there, excitement surged through him. "I want to grab every commission the Haibao has to offer," he announced to Tuum. She, however, understood that he meant a huge number of contracts and grew nervous. "That many?" she asked. "Can we actually handle all of them?" With blazing confidence, Li Yi waved her off. "No problem. We will take the most valuable portion of the jobs now, I will sort out the rest." Back at the Haibao gang's headquarters, the bot was berating a subordinate. He threw a report across the table and shouted, "Worthless, a newly risen Dark Guild has stolen all our contracts." Slamming his palm down, he barked at the underling, "Is not this your job? Send people to deal with them." The underling had no reply that would please the bot. He hung his head and muttered, "We could not get anything done." That fed the bot's fury. He grabbed the man by the collar and pulled him within inches, demanding, "What do you mean you could not handle it?" The underling stammered that the gang simply did not have the manpower for every commission now. Their rivals were sending 5 or 6 Tier C operatives. The bot realized, cold and furious, that his organization had a glaring manpower shortfall. "We do not have enough Tier CS, he snapped. "Where did this force crawl out from?" Seething, he threw the subordinate to the floor and issued a new order, "Buy expedition slots. Send people in to find the targets." The underling tried to explain that those expedition slots were already being snapped up by mysterious buyers, but the bot would not hear excuses. He slammed his palm down again and spat, "I do not care whether you steal them, bribe, or outbid, get me people into those gates. If we miss this profit window, I will hold you personally responsible." All the underling could do was swallow and hurry to carry out the command. At the same time, Tuum and Li Yi were sitting together, listening for news about upcoming missions. She was on the phone with some mysterious caller. "Yes, okay, got it," she said. After she hung up, she looked at Li Yi with a surprised tilt of her head, as if he would somehow known this would happen. "He Bao has been outbidding to buy up a lot of our expedition slots," she said. "How were you so sure they would do that?" Li Yi answered calmly, "Because they won't pass up the biggest money-making chance this quarter." Even after she heard his reasoning, Tuum still looked puzzled. "I do not get it," she admitted. He explained in more detail. "This is about the unspoken rules inside the mining world." As Li Yi put it, mine managers and foremen wanting to fatten their wallets often hide the best ores and novelty items. Before official inspections, they quietly move those goods off-site to sell them on the side. Intelligence has shown that He Bao used to exploit exactly this loophole. They would infiltrate through mercenary hall missions, plant spies, identify valuable targets, then raid them. The bot at Hey Bao has been counting on that flaw. Because these items are secret, if someone gets robbed in the middle of a transfer, nobody calls the police. Now that route has been cut off, they will instead buy expedition slots at top price to get into the dimensional gates themselves. In theory that is the idea, but after Li Yi's breakdown, Tuam still wondered, even if we sell expedition slots for top dollar, that only nets a small one-time haul, right? Li Yi suddenly stood and said, of course it is not just that. Then, before she could protest, he opened her eyes to something bigger. I have been through a lot of otherworld gates recently, I did not do it for free. Seeing how stunned she was, he went on, I have already mapped the otherworld entry points in High City. I can open small portals to those otherworlds anytime. He laid out the plan, we sell the expedition slots, then tail whoever pays top price for them. Follow their buyers, and we will find Hey Bao's targets. 2M's eyes lit up at the idea. When they find Hey Bao's trail, they can strike. It was a good plan. Because what Li Yi had just shown her was sensitive, he warned her, do not let many people know about these portals. Pick a few people you'd trust and have them wait for my orders. 2M wanted to reassure him, she grabbed his hand and said, I want to come. I love this kind of righteous business. Li Yi did not reply verbally. He just looked at her and smiled softly. He already trusted the girl. With that settled, they headed for the portal. Li Yi said confidently, all right. Let us go finish them. The scene cut to inside an otherworld. A large truck barreled down a stone road. The driver was chatting with the bald man next to him. Old Wong, this shipment's worth a lot, the driver said. Old Wong folded his arms and replied confidently, relax, you will get your cut when the time comes. While the two of them talked, the ground ahead of the truck suddenly sprouted a jagged, needle-like rock. The driver had not noticed the change. He was still talking. Then the spike, which had looked small from a distance, shot up huge, a dangerous, horn-like pillar. Old Wong caught the shift in the road a beat faster and shouted to the driver, careful. Everything happened in less than the blink of an eye. He was caught completely off guard, unable to react, and shouted in alarm. What is going on? He had to admit that his driving skills were no joke amidst a forest of jagged stone pillars springing up like mushrooms after a rain. He still managed to navigate through most obstacles. Unfortunately, his colleagues behind him were far less lucky. They bore the full brunt of the truck's violent shakes. After a tense passage through the obstacles, it seemed like the ordeal was over until the truck slammed into a solid stone wall. Only when the vehicle stopped completely did everyone have the chance to jump out. As soon as they hit the ground, someone shouted, what is happening? Is the cargo okay? While everyone else froze in shock, a figure with Mohican hair appeared seemingly from nowhere. He calmly said, the cargo's fine. No sooner had he finished speaking than hundreds of the previously sprouted stone spikes shot into the air, heading straight toward them. But what about you guys? The group realized something was seriously wrong and yelled to each other. Evolutionary runners, move! The Mohican-haired man, enjoying the chaos, gleefully controlled the flying stones while laughing maniacally. Do not run yet, trash, this old master has not had enough fun. In the middle of his exhilaration, a familiar voice cut through, I will play with you. In an instant, Li Yi used his shadow displacement technique to appear right behind him. Seeing his game interrupted by this unexpected interloper, the Mohican man flew into a rage. Who the hell are you, ruining my fun? Li Yi spoke calmly, stepping right in front of him, even snatching some of his items. Despite having been standing 100 meters away moments ago, Li Yi now appeared directly before him. The man panicked, raising his hands to defend himself. Too fast, I need to use the stones to counter. But Li Yi had anticipated it. With a single motion, he grabbed the man's face and issued a warning. Treating lives like trash is not good. Then, using only a fraction of his strength, he slammed him straight into a nearby rock wall. Each step Li Yi took made the ground crack and dust rise in clouds. The rock wall was not spared either. The impact left a deep dent where the man and Li Yi collided. Seeing the Mohican-haired guy was an easy target, Li Yi loosened his grip, letting him breathe. Barely catching his breath, the man defiantly spat, Who are you? I advise you to think carefully if you act, my comrades won't let you live. Li Yi glanced at Tuam, who who was waiting nearby, and casually asked the man, "You mean your subordinates?" Seeing their henchman taken down so easily, he could only widen his eyes in fear and scream, "What?" To curious, asked Li Yi, "What are you going to do to them? Kill them all?" Li Yi raised a hand, channeling a small amount of his power to reply, "No, killing them would be too easy for He Bao. I have a better plan." The Mohican-haired man's bravado crumbled. At the mention of life and death, he shook violently and screamed, but before he could react, Li Yi's hand was already in front of him. What are you doing to me?" While interrogating him, Li Yi made sure to instruct him to carry out a very important task: return and report to He Bao that everything is the work of Li Yi from the Shadow Clan. The scene suddenly shifted to a hospital outside the spatial gate. He Bao's bot and his assistant were visiting members of their guild. Although they claimed it was a courtesy visit, the moment they entered the room and saw people in casts and bandages, the bot grew furious and shouted loudly amidst the Shadow Clan. Li Yi's face was already flushed with barely contained fury. He could not stomach that this damn gang had been humiliated. The assistant at his side rattled off the details in a trembling voice. The worst part was that, on the surface, our guys did not look badly hurt, but beneath that facade they would all suffered broken bones. Even with the best medical care, they would be out of commission for half a year. He stared at the spreadsheet on the tablet and read the bill aloud. No less than 5 million each. 6 men that came to 30 million. Then the tablet beeped, a new message had arrived. The assistant glanced at the preview and, suddenly shaking, blurted it out. The other 2 teams fell as well. Hearing that was like throwing gasoline on the bot's fury. He exploded even louder. "What?" He lunged forward and grabbed the assistant's collar. "Who did it?" The assistant, terrified, stammered the name, Li Yi. Bad news kept piling up and the bot's face darkened with disbelief. How is that possible? Those 3 anomalous zones are hundreds of kilometers apart. Even if Li Yi could fly, he could not physically show up in all of them at once. The assistant double-checked the tablet and answered even more pale. "It is true. It was Li Yi himself. Some of our men even filmed it." He handed the video over. On screen, the bot watched, horrified. It really was footage of Li Yi and his crew thrashing their people. One of the captured thugs was screaming, "No, please, do not." Midway through the footage, the man holding the camera suddenly looked up. Li Yi had teleported right up to the lens and composed, confident addressed the filmer. "You sneaking a video?" The filmer panicked and shouted for him to go away. "Do not come here. Do not." Li Yi calmly snatched the tablet and turned the camera on himself. On the screen he said to the gang bot, "He Bao, your crew's pathetic. Why do not you come handle it personally?" The bot gripped the tablet so hard his hands trembled. Li Yi went on, taunting, "Those dozens of men of yours will be in treatment for a year that is gonna cost you a fortune. Right?" The bot could not listen to another word. He crushed the tablet in his hand and roared,